welcome into the Cuttle Cards Twitch channel. We are going to be starting the Club's 2026 Championship Tournament very soon. So I am bbjme, and I am with Pyroville here.
Hello,
And we
hello.
are going to be, yes, sir, we're going to be co-commentating for the tournament. I'll be able to co-commentate whenever I have some time, whenever my matches are done with. So then I'll hop in, but Parva's going to do the majority of the commentating, and he'll also be taking care of the broadcasting. And yeah, let's give Pyroville a warm welcome here. This is his first time streaming for Cuttle Cards, and we're more than happy to have him here today. So thank you so much, Pyroville.
Thanks, happy to be here.
Yes, sir.
Alright, got...
All right. Let me make sure that the YouTube side we go to make it public, so then we could also start taking care of that as well. All right, so whenever we're ready to go on the YouTube side of things, feel free to start that up, and then we can go live because I just made it public, so now everybody can see it on YouTube.
Phenomenal. So is the Twitch one still going strong? Just want to make sure.
Should still be going strong, my man, from what I'm seeing. Oh, it is. Yes, sir.
Phenomenal. Alright, so just a few hiccups there. So, where to begin?
All right. Well, we could begin with our contestants. We have 8 contestants participating for the club's 2026 tournament, and they're all viable. They're all viable threats in this tournament. I think any one of them has the opportunity to actually walk away with being crowned the club's 2026 season champion. So yeah, why don't we go over to that?
Absolutely. Let me actually pull up the car.
All right, looks like I see it. So that's good. So here we have, in the number 1 seed for the club's 2026 season, we have Avi, and with a whopping 47 points, 37 wins, just jumping over Aleph for the points. So yeah, he's going to be our 1 seed. This man has been playing for quite a while now, and he is quite the formidable opponent against several of his opponents. Oh, wow, that was poorly worded. But he is quite the formidable player, and I will say he's been playing for a long time. His strategy is really good. He's very he can be very intimidating with those points and with the way he sets up, because like if you don't watch out for him, he will get you, and like he will make you pay. So players beware. Avi is an absolute threat. He's a multi-season champion. He's a 2-time Cuttle World Champion as well. And I'm definitely not salty about the 2024 Cuttle Season Championship.
You would
Definitely
never.
not salty about that. But yeah, so absolute phenomenal player. Love this man. Love his contribution to the Cuttle community. So yeah, there we have number 1. At number 2, we have the creator of cuttle.cards himself, the Mr. Aleph 1, in second place with 43 points and 38 wins for the season. Like, he's the one who's created the site. He's won multiple season tournaments, continues to be a formidable player, and also he actually ended up winning his first world tournament, if I'm correct on that. He ended up winning his first world tournament just this year, like for the 2025 Worlds tournament. He ended up defeating SUBMARINO, and coming back from losers bracket to actually defeat SUBMARINO this year. And it was those were really exciting matches that we had. So it was a really exciting tournament, so it was great to see. So yeah, Aleph 1, creator of Cuttle.cards, and formidable Cuttle player.
Yeah,
So yeah, there you go.
absolutely. It is immediately, at least hard for me on the Wednesday night Cuddle nights coming up and seeing that Aleph is waiting to be in a game. It is always like, oh, this is the person who made the website. It is nerve-wracking for me, at least, who didn't make it onto this leaderboard to go up against that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so that's Ayla for you right there. All right, at number 3, we have SUBMARINO. This person has been playing Cuttle for a long time now. He actually found the site naturally, like through, I think, if I recall, I think through like a Reddit post or something. He just found the site naturally, and he was like one of the first players to actually do so. So that was really cool. And also, like, he's a season champion as well. He also, like as I mentioned, he is the runner-up for the Worlds 25 tournament, just behind Aleph. But before, like, he was breezing through winners rounds and quite the formidable player himself as well. SUBMARINO is not somebody to underestimate. He will catch you lacking if you are lacking, and he will take advantage of those opportunities to his benefit. So yeah, do not sleep on SUBMARINO. And yeah, we're always happy to welcome in here. And yeah. All right, at number 4, we have yours truly, myself, bbjme, or as I like to call myself in the Discord server, Mr. 1998, because it's a joke. We're going back to Resident Evil 4 randomizers and whatnots, but I won't get too far into that. That's a story for another time. But here we are, myself at number 4. I've been playing Cuttle for a while now, for several years now. I've yet to win any sort of tournament, but I have been consistently making worlds and season tournaments. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Even though I haven't won any tournaments so far, I always have fun playing Cuttle, and it's just a good time. It's just a great time. So yes, sir. All right. At number 5, we have Personman. Personman is someone who is quite the formidable player. They are very aggressive with their playstyle, and they will catch you off guard if you have no answer to respond with. If you do not have any answers to respond to Personman's plays, he will catch you off guard and he will win that match. He will win those games. So he is quite the formidable player. He's been consistently playing in the season tournaments and in the world tournaments as well, and he's somebody always to fear. And yeah, so Personman is one of our best players here. I think he's like one of the most methodical players that this community has seen. So I just want to give a shout out to Personman right there. So yeah. All right. Now going into the new contestants for this club's tournament, we have JJ88A. Now JJ is not a new player per se. They've been playing for a while, but they've been more on and off. But they have been part of this. Oh, Personman, what's up? Yo, Personman, what's? Let's see.
Rock on,
Okay,
rock on.
Okay, it looks like they entered the live stream channel, but it's all good. Anyways, going to talk about JJ8 today. They've been playing for a little while now, but they haven't consistently played to the point where they would make entry to a season tournament, as far as I'm concerned. But they are making entry in the season tournament. They're making their season tournament debut with Clubs 2026, and should be exciting seeing them. They play very well, and they're a lot of fun. So and they always have a good time just playing Cuttle as well. So it's a good time. Should be a good tournament for them. All right. Here we have the 7th seed, another new contestant, HuntOrBeHunted. Now, this player has been showing more interest recently in Cuttle, and they've been appearing more for the season. They've been showing up more for the season, for the weeks, and they've been playing more consistently. They're having a lot of fun. They're very excited and enthusiastic about playing Cuttle. So we want to see what they bring to the table. I want to see how they do in their debut season tournament. This should be a really exciting one for them as well. So they're going to be paired against Aleph 1. So I want to see how that matchup turns out to be, and maybe we'll see an upset. Who knows?
It would be absolutely exciting. It's always great to see new people getting into it, because also there's just so much you don't know. There's already things you don't know with how the cards are going to be drawn and shake out, and you just don't know what each person is going to do. Hard to read. Love to see it.
Yes, sir. All right, and then we have, last but not least, we have a new contestant as well, Gugandalf. Gugandalf is another new contestant that is making their season debut for the club's 2026 tournament and any season tournament for that in general. They actually ended up finishing first, tied with myself in week 6, and they were able to snag themselves a spot for this tournament. And yeah, they're also very enthusiastic about Cuttle. They're very enthusiastic about this community. So they are gonna this should be an also exciting one as well. They're gonna go against Avi, so who knows, we might also see an upset here, maybe not, but who knows. Also, speaking of upsets and wins, losses, and whatnot, we do have the challenge bracket available right now. So with that bracket being available, we should be able to start prediction. So everybody, if you have not put in a prediction in the challenge bracket, make sure to do so. And I want to see some of your spiciest takes to see who you think is gonna come out on top for each round. So it should be an exciting one. All right, and then all right, Pyro, do you want to take it to the games? Oh yeah, so we got the bracket here. As you can see, we have Avi against Gugandalf. Oh, sorry.
I got you now.
Okay,
My bad. My bad.
No, oh no, you're good. You wanna? There we go. Perfect. All right, so here we have in the bracket, we have Avi versus Gugandalf. We have myself versus Personman. We have Aleph and HuntOrBeHunted. Oh wow, looks like Aleph already won their match. And then we have SUBMARINO versus JJ888. All right, so yeah, we have that going on. Looks like things are happening right now.
Things are already well underway.
All right, so with that being said, why don't we just head over to any of the matches? And Pyroville, I'll let you handle this. Be sure to spectate any match that's ongoing, and I'll be hopping on to my game very soon. So yeah,
I got you. All right, good to see you. Farewell.
Hey there, Pyroville. Quite well, glad to be here. Excited for tournament day.
Yeah, good luck on your first match, I see. Well, I don't need to say that, you already got it.
Yeah, so I figured it was a good time to relieve bbjme.
Absolutely. Welcome in. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I think it's an exciting day. Glad to have the championship going. I'm looking forward to seeing how the matches shake out. I think it's exciting to see we've got some new folks competing in tournaments for the first time. That's a cool thing. And I think it's going to be a great day for some Cuttle.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see everyone here all gathered together for it.
All right. So, we're checking out the bbjme Personman game?
Yeah. Looks like we're there to start off with. Personman opens with a strong start with a 4. Always knocks me off guard when I start off that way.
It's one of those things that's just almost more of an emotional play than
and immediately.
And again, yep. I see you like having cards, so I'd rather you didn't.
Yeah, my mind always gets turning right when I draw my hand, thinking about where I can go from the beginning, and a 4 just immediately cuts that right out of the gate. We're seeing a lot of 4s this match.
Yeah, it's sort of a battle of the empty hands. Finally, they're able to draw cards again.
Yeah, we're seeing pretty much a mulligan, and we're starting to see what the game could actually look like from here on out.
Personman discards that final 4. Figures, all right, enough of that.
Amazing.
And immediately gone. There's like nothing is sticking right now.
No, it has been a war of attrition trying to get anything to stick.
So is Personman going to continue to build up? Oh, now Personman
right out with a 10.
were Person Man, that queen would give me pause. Given that Person Man's got all points, so that king helps a lot though for offense. Ooh, and the 2-for-1-6 gets countered. Does bbjme push? He does. That's check. That's a tough spot for Person Man.
The queen makes things tough, but Person Man has a card to scuttle it.
Ooh, bbjme draws up. Now Person Man has the chance to check bbjme, but is he feeling confident enough? No, he wants to get rid of that queen.
I don't blame him. Queens can just shut down so much of what you can do.
Both players have been fairly conservatively trying to disrupt their opponent's stuff before it's too late, as it were. So we're not often getting to the point of check even, because they just don't want the other person to even get there. Oh, the king-10 threat gets sixed.
And yes, the board is wiped again.
Yeah, again, yeah. Back to square one.
So many possible options. None of them are being allowed to go through.
Yep. So who's going to be first to take the board again? bbjme's got the chance now.
A 9 on the board can quickly turn into trouble, so it's going to be interesting to see how it's handled.
With Person Man having a jack, there's a little more flexibility for him to push offensively as well.
Certainly.
He could bide his time, wait to try to land that ace.
Starting off with the king already.
Yep. Guessing bbjme has a few more threes than he wanted.
Yeah, they can be useful. We could see the return of the 4s or any other because quite a bit of the deck is in the discard pile now, so
Right. But 3 threes is a lot of threes.
3 threes is a lot of threes.
Here's the check. I think this is looking pretty good for Person Man right now, because they can both blow their counters here.
Yeah, and these are the last 2s in the game from the discard pile, so
But bbjme is sitting on, yet again, 3 threes, so we'll see how that pans out. Does Person Man push? You walk into that ace.
I do think they are saving aces for mutually assured destruction. I think we've got at least one more board wipe in store for this match. Just going with draws. None of them are ready to make that push. None of them feel like they have the initiative.
We're almost to the end of the deck.
And I feel like if we do reach the end of the deck, bbjme is going to be in a much better position having those 3 3s.
Hmm. And more total um, resources as well.
All right, Personman is ghost
Personman.
pushing and brings out the ace naturally.
That further exacerbates bbjme's total advantage. And bbjme with that queen fully shuts down the jacks that Personman's sitting on, which leaves Personman essentially with the 9, 10, and ace for defensive options. It's pretty thin ice.
Pretty thin ice. bbjme is the only one who has the points in hand to reach 21. Especially if he gets that queen out, Personman can't get any from jacks. And he pulls a 10 out of the discard pile.
Now, Personman's saving grace here might be the combination of the ace hidden behind the queen. So that's an uncounterable ace is a really strong potential move, and scuttling with the 10 of spades. But knowing that, I think bbjme has this very powerful potential line of a king king 10 offense, which I think Personman will not have an answer for. There's really no way around it. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a
Personman concedes
that same line.
There we go. Just
But why not? You can pop into Personman bbjme again to continue their match. And from the game over screen, next time it ends, usually we'll continue to watch sort of the same match, and there's a continue spectating button, which will just drop you into that.
I see. Phenomenal stuff.
So here bbjme's got that king on the board, and it's Personman's turn. Building up resources. bbjme does have the potential for a king king 10 threat, but Personman's got that 6, which means that could really smart. bbjme walks into it.
Personman seeds the king on the board and decides to go ahead and go for points. Could be risky with Jamie's jack on the board and nothing to... No, Personman does have a 2, so there is that.
They're jacking each other's stuff.
And just wipes the board, gets the king and the jack off the board. bbjme has to use a 10 to scuttle one of his 9s.
Never feels good to scuttle using a 10, but sometimes it's gotta be done.
It's gotta be done. It doesn't have a power because it can just scuttle all it needs to. Alright, with quite a stacked deck left, I'm curious what he's pulling. He's pulling that 10.
The very 10 that scuttled him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that 10 you used.
Really good
Scuttle
plays
that.
so far.
bbjme's got a 3 of his own. I wonder what he wants. Yes, I sure can. Again with the early disruption. bbjme does not like the look of that 10 queen board. I'm looking to trade 1 for 1, but Personman says, I like my queen. Counter that 6.
bbjme has the cards to be aggressive with 7s, 8s, and a king.
But Personman's got the initiative. So if bbjme starts to push, Personman can push right back and put bbjme in check.
And even then, he's got 2 jacks in his hand.
Right, right. So not really to have it turned around on him. Personman's got a very strong offensive line going here.
Certainly, bbjme has been on the back foot for a lot of this match. He's got some better defensive options, but nothing's that's gonna help push towards the win.
I love a good king 4. And Personman's got the high 4, so bbjme can't scuttle with the 4. It's either got a 2 Personman's king or scuttle that 4 with a 7, which does not feel good.
All right, building up again after that exchange. bbjme did not want him to get that 5 off and get even more cards in hand.
It's interesting to ruminate on when to counter a 5. It's kind of nuanced, I think. But anytime you do, it puts you ahead immediately.
We talked earlier about how
Yeah.
receiving a 4 feels. Getting your 5 countered, I think feels very similar, even more so.
Right.
Even
Yeah, it's like you spent your turn trying to get rid of some junk in your hand and get more resources, and now you're stuck with the junk and you lose the turn. It smarts.
from how I view the hands, things are looking a bit more even footing now.
Yeah, interestingly, Personman's been able to keep the initiative with basically just that 4. Now feels a little more confident to put bbjme in check. An ace would be pretty rough for Personman, but bbjme doesn't have it. And I would guess that Personman's kind of banking on that based on the fact that Personman has 2 of the aces himself.
He has 2. There are none in the discard yet, so they're due to come up in the deck.
It's true. Yeah. I wonder if Personman is precisely wondering now if Baby Jamie's got at least one ace. Like, the odds would suggest that he should, but he doesn't. So actually, right now, if Personman is pedal to the metal with those tens, Baby Jamie is in deep trouble, I think, because all he can really answer with is that jack, and Personman will win the jack fight.
Do you think, knowing all that we do, that Baby Jamie could go and put his king on the board and try and have that ready because his only defense is the jack? Could that put him in better tempo?
It would force Personman to either make an offensive play to seize the initiative, or otherwise to allow Baby Jamie to seize the initiative, which would bode well for Baby Jamie in the jack fight, although that queen shuts the jack down.
It does. Doing the math real quick, I think the last two cards in the deck are both aces.
Spicy.
So we could see all of this buildup be wiped away and just finding what they can still use in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
This time around, threes are out of the board, so what they have is more or less what they're going to have.
Looks like some matches have finished.
Yeah, I'm out of the tournament, so would y'all mind if I join the voice chat here in the play-by-play announcing?
Yeah, why don't you have at it? In that
Not
case,
at all.
actually,
Welcome.
I've got a match to play myself.
All right, fantastic
There
talking
go.
to you.
Yeah, that'll sub in.
Ta-ta. Thank you both.
Thank you. Farewell.
And so we're watching the Personman. Is this Personman Baby Jamie?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Okay.
Personman's got
It's an
strong.
interesting setup.
Yeah, you go ahead. I've been yapping.
Sorry, I'm updating myself on the setup here. So, a 10 and a 4. So Personman has Baby Jamie in check here, but
Yeah, this
I
match,
guess
Personman
Baby
has,
Jamie can really scuttle.
he can scuttle. Personman has had strong
Very good.
tempo this entire match. Baby Jamie's been on the back
Yeah.
foot. And he continues to having
Personman
two
does
tens
like
and
to
two.
hold time and control that.
Fascinating, fascinating.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
makes sense.
we'll keep on going.
Ooh, Personman has a pretty strong hand there with the 2 10s, queen. If he plays this 5 correctly, he can get a lot of value from the starting deck there. Baby Jamie doesn't have the worst hand here with the king, 10, 7, 7, 6, 4, and 3. But it would help if he had more defense outside of that 1, 6. A 2 would be great. And then he can start playing points as well if he wants to go for offense with that king there. But
Fascinating.
5.
There was nothing there that I'd necessarily want to get rid of, but Personman just ends up with a more stacked hand.
Yeah, got rid of the defense with that ace to get more points, which should be helpful for going all offense.
which seems to have been working out for him well so far. In the first match where Personman, as I lost the word for it.
Describe it.
It's
You could play our own game of guess the word while we're watching their gameplay. Okay, so we got a queen and a king out. Personman has a lot of value with the double queens and the king. So anything bbjme does here is really not effective because Personman can just reload that queen if he wants to. Ooh, a 10 is a good card to get for bbjme to kind of really enforce points and see if Personman can challenge that. And the only thing he can really do is scuttle here. So if bbjme wants to push the objective, he can go for a 7 or a 9 to kind of keep pushing points and see if Personman can challenge that. But we'll see. It could be a gamble because bbjme doesn't know if Personman has a jack or not. So there's nothing he could do to stop that if Personman took that. But obviously we know this in hindsight. Oh, there we go, playing the 10.
Playing the 10, risky as a clubs, it's the lowest 10. And as we saw, it was
And
immediately
it's
scuttled.
point card. Oh, playing the 9 of clubs there. Okay.
Going card for card, scuttling.
Yeah. And an ace is not what you want there.
Now I think we're going to see a good bit of building up again before we see what will be their next offense.
Right. Let's see what Personman draws here. Ooh, a 4 actually is a really good time to have a 4.
You'd love to kick him while he's down, trying to get built back up.
But if I'm bbjme, I know what cards I'm getting rid of if I have to. It'd probably be the ace and the jack there, because you can't really use the jack. And if bbjme wants to push the objective with that 10 of spades, he's going to want to try to win now. So the ace doesn't really help his hand if he has to get rid of 2 cards.
Certainly.
Let's see what they... Oh, the ace. So yeah, that does change things though. And you pretty much get a free play with that ace because the queen is out. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, play the 2, but then Personman can just reload that, grab that jack. Yep. So now there's more danger on bbjme's side because if Personman plays that queen again, bbjme knows that Personman has the jack, so he's going to be less willing to play points right now because he can't defend any points he plays while he needs to get 2 different point cards on the field to win. So it's going to kind of stop bbjme's offense for the time being, but he's got 2 aces to play defense as well. Oh, but a queen is going to be a good card to have right now.
Scrapping the board of its 1 king with a 6, and they're back to building up.
Yeah. Personman definitely needs to get some point value with their hand currently, especially with getting the 2 kings. It'd be great if he could either use that 3 to pull a 10 or possibly draw a 10. Let me see how many 10s are already in play. Actually, all 3 10s are in the scrap, and the last 10 is in bbjme's hands, which Personman should know. So those 2 kings aren't really valuable for Personman unless he can use that 3 to pull a king back out or 10 back out.
Starting off with the queen, maybe covering himself for any future buildup. Likewise.
Right. And then the queen match.
So all 3 jacks that are in their hands right now are absolutely worthless.
Right. And there's still 1 more jack in play, but Yeah, for right now, they're really not helpful. Let's see what
Oh, pulling a
two.
defense, pulling a 2 with the 3.
Yeah, which I can understand because Personman only has that ace and has the jack, which is actually now the jack is useful, but has no point cards to scuttle.
Has no points cards skeletal.
Might be trying to pull a bluff here. Or at least setting up. Yep, pulling the bluff. Seeing if bbjme will buy it. bbjme shouldn't buy it because bbjme wouldn't have bought it if he knew that all 3 10s were in the scrap. So he wouldn't have to scuttle there. But he has a ton of point cards anyway, so it was not too much of a loss. Ooh, 2 more kings.
He's now got enough to pull a point win.
And bbjme doesn't have anything to stop any kings there. Has no 2s and no 6s. Let's see. There are still 3 2s in the deck, and there's 1 more 6 as well that needs to be found.
Yeah, the heart of the cards is deciding that Personman's getting a lot of defensive options.
Oh, he got rid of the king there. I was looking at the scrap when that 4 happened. So I lost the 8 and the king. So yeah, definitely trying to brute force some defense out of the deck for sure. Personman has a free turn here before. Oh, he's just going to go ahead and jack that. He gets jacked right back.
And now, with that in mind, his king has to be safe except from direct removal, because that would just send 8 points right back to him.
Correct. If I'm Personman, I would just draw from the deck because he has enough with the ace and the 2 to hopefully be able to stop any point win from bbjme's side, because he needs at least 2 more turns to set up a win condition right now. You either play a king in setup check or play another point in setup check, but I think all the kings are already currently visible, but bbjme of course does not know that Personman has that other king. And Personman drew that 4, so not ideal.
Not
We have
ideal.
another turn here, double 2s.
It looks like every time Personman decides to draw, bbjme immediately does. It looks like they're getting back to building up towards something bigger.
Right. And now bbjme, I think, is at 8 cards. So bbjme has to play here or possibly use that 3 to pull something out of the scrap. And there is, I think, a 2 sitting in the scrap pile. So that wouldn't be a bad thing to pull. Oh, but Personman has all 3 2s left in the game. That's some defense to pull right there.
That's some defense.
2 back-to-back 2s. Yeah. Playing a 5 right here is interesting. I guess trying to grab whatever's left in the scraps so the other player can't get it. And pulled the 6, which is a useful card to have.
It's a useful card to have. It's better for Personman right now because he ends up with 8 points at this moment. He could definitely... He could get more points on the board. And then once he has more points on the board, he could either add another king, which will either bring down the total or it'll send 8 points back to him.
It's true. I'm not exactly sure what bbjme will pull out of the scrap. I guess finally get that 2. At this point, it looks like it's probably going to be a stalemate. I'm not sure how Personman could win here, and Baby Jamie likely just will pass every time. So Personman doesn't get any advantage.
Yeah, they both got a lot of great defensive options, but it seems like neither of them really want to pull. And Personman decided to counter that 3. And he's just back in initiative.
Yeah, that makes sense. You've got all those 2s there. Might as well pull them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should be seeing a stalemate here.
In my mind, seeing that Baby Jamie has 3 aces, you gotta leave that last 2 to try and make points. That's just how I'd read this situation.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that there is no 10 in play or a 10 in Personman's hand, because then Personman would be able to force that win condition pretty easily there with that 2.
Hmm.
Let's see, Personman pass and force another game here. Personman's got a lot to think about here.
Certainly. So, fill me in again. What happens at a stalemate on this match?
So they would go to the next game. I knew there was a stalemate before. Okay, so there's 1 win and two ties. So they will go to game 4. And we'll go until we get a best 2 out of 3.
I see.
Which, hopefully, we don't get a bunch of ties in this match. I'd like to see some action. I'd like to see some wins.
Yes, every match so far between these two has been a real back and forth leading to the middle.
And Baby Jamie and Personman are 2 very, very good players that have a lot of games between them and between other opponents. So it does not surprise me that they've been hacking away at each other and preserving any sort of lead that they might have, going to a lot of ties, a lot of stalemates in the process. They don't want to give their opponent any advantage if they don't have to.
Pulling a 2 right out of the scrap immediately.
Yeah, I guess if you have those 3s, you might as well kind of recycle those 2s around. That's a play I like to use a lot when I have, especially at the beginning of a game, have a lot of 3s, because they don't really have a lot of value when you're trying to build up any sort of momentum early on.
Yeah, you might save them for a rainy day, but you don't get much more rainy than a 2 being there and ready to be used.
Exactly. Now that 3 becomes a good idea for fodder if you have to discard 2, but Personman might also counter here and just use that 3 to get that 2 back as well and preserve that other point card or jack if he wants to keep his hand. Nope, he got rid of the jack and the 3 there and just trying to kind of force a win here.
Yeah, 19 immediately on the board. Baby Jamie has to scuttle a 10 with a 10.
And I think Personman should be able to win here. Yep, if he plays that 7 and use the 5 to make 21. Gets that scuttled as well, pulls an ace, which is a good defensive card to have.
Yeah, he's 2 out of 3 defensive. He's got a 5, which is hard to turn into
5
something with his other 2 cards.
5 would be good to use for its one-off right now, but it's tough to get rid of an ace. Oh wow. The 2 was played there to get rid of the queen. Interesting.
Yeah, bbjme has been taking every opportunity to stop Personman's offenses, so maybe he feels like he's more on the back foot, and taking that queen out will just help him do more further.
Yeah, honestly, it's a good play. bbjme has that ace and 2 6s there. Those are really good cards to have available when you have a queen, and you can't stop. But now, I mean, Personman has the 2 kings and a queen. You pull that queen out now that you've got that 9 jacks, and you can protect that pretty effectively until a 6 gets played or an ace gets played. Ooh. Pulls the ace, gets rid of all the cards on the board, but bbjme still has point advantage right now. And the 2?
2 2s. This round of drawing has been very good for bbjme.
Yeah, this would be a good time possibly to play that 4 and start kind of reducing Personman's hand and then go for offense after, since there's nothing on the board currently starting any momentum on Personman's side. But they're just building up their hands here until they get to 8 cards and then playing after the fact. There's that 4 coming out. If I'm Personman, I guess I would get rid of one of the kings and one of the queens, since you have a lot of doubles there. Doubles and triples.
Yeah, I might even. No, because 2 queens doesn't come up as much.
There we go. Although, Personman doesn't realize that bbjme had those surplus 6s and 2s, so there goes that queen, which means that bbjme has that jack accessible to him again. If Personman plays any points here. bbjme can probably counter this 3, or he lets it fly. Personman gets the 2, which doesn't really threaten bbjme that much because he has the double aces and the double 2s and a 6. So any ace or 6 can be will still go through because he has those 2 2s there.
Going out
Pulling
quickly
the
with the 10 of spades.
Knowing it can't be countered, and he has any card available to him if he has to get rid of some jacks. But I don't know how many jacks are still in play. Oh, so there's only 1 jack left in play, so he's even less threatened by a double jack. And he has the other jack, so he knows there's no jacks left as well.
I see.
Both players now have double 2s. Personman going on the offense here to try to see if he can match bbjme's momentum and cause him to slow down his pace. bbjme has a lot of value here. He can play one of those 6s to start building up points and see if Personman can scuttle or use an ace here, and but bbjme would be able to
pulling out a 10 from the 7.
Wow, that's a great pull.
And he's got the 2s to prevent a board wipe that Personman doesn't even have.
Personman doesn't have the points to scuttle, so yeah, he would have to. There's really nothing Personman can do here because he's got no ace. Yep, he plays the 9 for its one-off, but bbjme counters. You have the double counter, you have the triple counter. The quadruple counter.
Phenomenal.
Wow.
Trying to get that 10 of spades out.
Just for one more turn, let's see if the harder cards can get anything for Personman here. Playing the 6 to get rid of that king on the board. Smart play while you have the surplus 6. Plays the other 9. Getting rid of Personman's points, but keeping bbjme's win at bay for one more turn. Oh, and then playing the 5 just to get rid of that hand, revealing what they both have. Personman should realize that it might be over for him here. bbjme realizing that he probably has the win in the bag, and oh wow, so the forfeit there.
Wow.
bbjme wins out 2-0 with 2 ties.
Incredible.
See what the bracket is like now. Let's see if we can get a little bracket update. See what the other players are doing.
Yeah, so right now, over the course of that, we have bbjme moving up to go against Avi. Aleph 1 sent to the losers bracket after a match with JJ888.
Wow, Jaewong beat Aleph in round 2. Impressive. This is Jaewong's first tournament, and so far she's beaten me, and she's beaten Aleph. And Aleph is a perennial contender. Obviously, the person that has built the site we play on. So that's a great opening 2 games for Jaewong. You have to feel really good about that going into what should be winners final soon. Should be winners final next, I think.
Yeah, going into winners finals.
Here we go. Yep. Wow.
All right, so while we
I
are...
guess the next match here... Go ahead.
Well, I was going to go into something else, so you go ahead first, and then I'll ask my questions.
Okay, perfect. Well, the next, I guess, match on the winner's side we have is going to be Avi versus bbjme, so I guess we'll wait until they set up and start spectating that when that arises.
All right, we've got AV versus bbjme.
Is that game already going? Oh, yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's see, bbjme has a 2, 3, 4, 10, and queen. Avi has a king, queen, 10, 2 9s, and an 8. bbjme has a good situation here with the 2 and the 3, so he can play kind of an early 2 counter if he would like to, and then use that 3 to cycle it back. Using the 4 now might be useful to get rid of any sort of points or extra cards Avi might have, but they play the 2 queens right now and start. Avi looks like he's going for offense pretty quick here. Two 2s on bbjme's side. That's pretty great to have when you have. Oh wow! You can play the ace here.
You can play the ace here, but instead he just takes the targeted out, replaces it with a 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
Avi's going for the bluff here, not realizing that actually works well for bbjme because he can play the 2 2s, get rid of the queen and king while they're still active, and there goes the win condition. But Avi's got another king. Plays a 3 from the scrap, might pull out a 2 here. Pulls out an... Oh, I see. bbjme played that and pulls out the ace, which is smart. 5 could be very useful here.
Yeah, Avi's been very aggressive, and he knows that bbjme has that ace, which might temper him some.
Right, unless he pulls out this 2, but it's not going to help him because he's got that queen still on the board. bbjme uses that 2, which is effective. Gets rid of the king. Oh, but plays the other king.
Right after that, back and forth, bbjme uses a 4, knocking out Avi's hand.
Wow, that's pretty brutal. Getting rid of any defense of that ace and 6 that Avi had. Gets rid of even more cards. There goes Avi's hand.
They are both
Both
down to
players
nothing.
handless. Wow, but pulling out a 2 and a 10 of spades on both sides.
BBJME immediately
Maybe
used
king.
that other ace.
Oh, wanted to keep the 10 of spades for any advantage, but they hurt him there. Got countered and lost the match.
Going right along to match 2. Avi starts off strong again with the king, building up tempo.
bbjme's not going to let that start. Pulls out the 6, but gets countered by a 2. It stays on the board.
Yeah, especially compared to the last match we saw, which they didn't give either one an inch. This one seems to be really running on aggression.
Yeah, Avi playing that 7 for 1 off and baby countering immediately, very early on into the game here. Oh, that 5 open hands. Very good situation for bbjme right there to get a 10, 7, and 6 points to help this win condition. But he doesn't know that Avi's got 2 aces, so if he plays anything here, it's going to get rid of his hand and get rid of any option for scuttling. But he just decides to use the 7 for its 1 off instead. The smarter play, knowing what we know here. Gets the 2 9s on the board for a win condition, but they both get aced. bbjme has to start over here.
Avi shoots back with a
Brutal 4.
bbjme's got 1-5 left again. He's able to cycle a new hand.
Yeah, it's a good idea to play that 10 there and just start putting points on the board and then using that 5 to kind of help whatever he can to enforce that lead. But it's tough to play that 10 there when he could have scuttled, but it worked out in the end there. King 10. Avi can scuttle, or ace decides to scuttle. Uses the 8 to bluff a win there.
And he can take it with the jack.
bbjme plays into his hand, jacks that last card, and wins the match 2-0.
Ooh.
Very quick plays by Avi and bbjme. 2 players that like to play up-tempo when they're given the chance to. And that puts bbjme into the loser side of the bracket and should give Jay Wong her opponent for the winner's final here. It should be Avi versus Jay Wong, and bbjme is now playing HuntOrBeHunted in losers round 2, while I guess Aleph has to wait to see who he plays next here. Not sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, as we wait for things to come back up, man, just how 2 very different rounds.
Right. And honestly, that goes a lot to the ability of Personman to really slow down the tempo and play patiently, which can really throw off a lot of the up-tempo players. bbjme was able to kind of still get through his game with Personman, but I know when I play Personman, that tempo can really be effective. But at the same time, if Personman or someone else plays against someone very up-tempo, all you have to do is kind of just wait it out. But when you have 2 players that do play very up-tempo and they kind of play into that, then it's kind of a fight over who can be better at tempo, and really get to see who is more effective in that situation. And you saw that clearly with the Avi and bbjme game.
All right, we've got the bbjme and the HuntOrBeHunted game. We've also got Avi has started.
Yep, Avi versus Jay Wong is now also on the board. Well, they haven't. I guess they haven't started because I'm not seeing spectate. They're
Yeah.
both in their lobby. We should be starting any second now.
Yeah, here we go. Avi versus Jaewon.
All right. Oh, 2-2's the start for Jaewong's side with a 9-10 Jack and King. She can really just push the win here. But there's 2 6s on Avi's side, so they should be able to pull out a win here.
Yeah, with that king already on the board, they can make a great push and counter anything that Avi could throw at them. Or throw at her, excuse me.
Well, especially with that other Jack being in play for Avi. Avi can Jack, and then Jaewon can take that right back, and all Avi would have is that ace or the 6, and having those 2-2s is exactly what you need. It's all up to the gusto, really, of Jaewon to really push that win condition now, or maybe wait and see if Avi plays something first. But
Use one of the 2s to keep the king on the board and throws out a 9.
smart play, because Avi still won't be able to scuttle that 9. Jaewon can counter here, and that should be the
leaves
win.
open for the 10.
Wow, that was a very quick start.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, there were no draws. It was just played with what was in hand.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. I mean, these are. That doesn't necessarily surprise me, seeing what Jaewon had. I mean, if you look at that hand, you were about 1 card away from having a god hand.
Right.
Jaewon plays this 5, discards. Or is it Avi that played that?
Jaewon played the 5. Resolves, draws up a new hand.
Oh, right. She's on the top of the screen now.
Yeah.
I always get stuck with that.
Hey, it takes me a second to flip the cards. I'm like, man, they have so many 6s and 9s. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
All right, I was trying to be offensive again, having high points, and a king on the board. King is gone.
Both players having queens, they can easily play both queens and reduce any chance of having any 2s to counter, but no players have 2s currently.
No players have 2s. Obviously, ace would still be useful, but the jack is not going to be anymore. Avi's got a lot of points in hand.
Yeah, Jaewon can play points, but that ace is really going to make things hard for her here. But does Avi want to get rid of that 8? He does not.
Not quite yet, no.
Scuttle instead. Currently has a win. Both players currently have a win condition. Jaewon decides to play the 9 and test Avi's metal here. Decides to get rid of the points with that ace.
Jaewon just pulled a 4, real bad for where Avi is right now.
Oh, yeah, play that 4 right now and get rid of that 5 that he wants to set up here for that open hand 3 draw.
Even then, after that open hand 3, that really cuts down the benefit from it. Yeah, this could just cancel that entirely, and that's what she does.
That's a smart move by Jaewon.
Left with just a jack right now, last thing you want to see.
Jaewon goes into the scrap to pull something out, see what comes out of this. That's could be useful later on. Maybe just piling up value here, deciding to get rid of the queen. Brings the jack back in play. Avi decides to grab the 2 himself.
Jaewon takes the 10, nothing can happen about it.
Gets rid of the other queen to be able to have access to that jack here. And pulls another 2. Both players pulling 2s here.
Jae-Wong has just enough right now.
But not
Ava
enough
takes
to
the
shoot.
9 back.
Wow. Tries to get rid of the jack, but probably won't happen if Avi decides to counter here. But he might decide to hold on. No. Counters it, keeps that 9 on his side of the board. Jae-Wong, I can see, will probably play a little bit more desperately here, not exactly knowing what Avi has in hand.
Both queens are back.
Both
The
players
jacks are going to
decide
be
to
where they're
leave.
going to stay.
Correct. Avi plays that 4, gets rid of the cards in hand, which is pretty tough. Gives a lot of advantage to Avi here. But that 10 of spades is a great card to have.
Getting a
Jae-Wong not knowing that Avi has points though, or an ace though.
an ace would be devastating for both of them right now.
Correct.
Yeah, use
decides to
that.
Scuttle there, which is a smart play, but gets rid of a really great point card, and that's ooh. See. Oh, the 6 is not very helpful, but at least we'll get rid of whatever Avi has in hand. But that shouldn't do anything, so Avi should be able to play this 6 and win. Let's see.
Yeah. Jae-Wong could use the 4. Does, just gets rid of his current hand.
Oh, yes. I had the turns wrong. Wow.
And
And
then
Avi-
left with a jack again.
Oh, brutal.
They're both.
Jae-Wong can play that king, though, and get the win condition here.
They're.
But,
You go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plays that 6 and gets the win. Now, both players knowing that they need one more win. This is a best 3 out of 5 when we get to winner's final.
I
One more
see.
game here if Jae-Wong can pull the win.
With 2 wins already, Ava's got a lot to pull back from.
Not the best 5 there, but you get another 5 with that 5, so you can always kind of go for more value here. Yep, and get rid of the 3 and try again. Gets another 3, a 7, and a 9. So not exactly great, but points are always great to have early on in the game, especially when you have a queen. Oh, brutal to have a 2 and an ace when you play a 7 like that. Gotta play that 2 so that way Avi doesn't have access to it.
And Avi picks that ace right out.
We've got those 2 aces, some high point cards, and a jack. Any points that Jae-Wong plays can be kind of neutralized here on Avi's side of the board.
Yeah, no matter the setup, Avi's got some cards he could scuttle with.
Plays a double 7, gets a king, which could be useful for a setup here with all those points, and he does. Jae-Wong gets this. I think Jae-Wong got that jack there, which is could be useful here. Jae-Wong decides to play a queen. Decides to go for the 6 to get rid of the king, but Avi reloads kings.
I mean, with the amount of points he has in hand, just 1 king is great.
Right, and there goes that queen, knowing that at any point played can get jacked.
Yeah, and if that's the case, Avi only has the nuclear option with aces.
Yeah. Having that 2 is very useful. Oh, man. Can stop any 6 being played to get rid of Jae-Wong's queen. And jack if there comes a point where Jae-Wong takes the point card from Avi's side of the board.
Fascinating.
Plays an ace get rid of a 2, probably because Avi has 8 cards in hand and doesn't want to play anything to kind of see what Jaewong starts to set up here. Knowing that Avi had 2 aces, he felt like he could kind of use one of those in a situation where it wasn't very ideal. 4 and a 9 to set up a win condition.
Avi's in check and uses a
scuttle
10.
with a higher card.
Yeah. Avi was in check and used a 10 to get rid of that 9, leaving Jaewong in a much worse position.
Jaewong gets another 10 to set up 2 10s for a win here, which would allow... Jaewong decides to counter with that 2, which isn't exactly the best play because Avi has that ace there. Avi will be able to ace freely instead. Yeah.
Yeah, pulling that 10 from a 3 and seeing the 4 on the board. All right, Avi with the king
Now
out starts pulling.
Jaewong to play defensively. Ooh, brutal. Jaewong's going to have to scuttle here with that 10, but it allows her to have an open 5 draw to get 3 cards, which, as long as Avi doesn't try to bluff for a win condition, kind of the right move to play. Yeah, Jaewong can't do anything about it anyway, but decides to draw instead of playing the 5. We can counter right here with that 2.
And then that would leave the 5 open again.
Yeah, I mean, you have to play the 5 for its 1-off. You can't scuttle.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, another jack. Right in the nick of time. But doesn't have any points to win currently.
Doesn't have any points to win.
But
drew those points.
Just lucky to have 3 cards in hand. Can get rid of the queen and the ace and play that 9 to win the game. Wow.
Phenomenal.
Jaewong to winners finals against Avi, winning 3-0.
Has been an absolute tear going through this.
It's incredible for a first-time player in a tournament. Jaewong is one of our oldest players, but she's very infrequent when she does come in on Wednesday night games. But she's a very competent player. Just doesn't really have the same amount of games that players like Avi or bbjme have. And it seems to really have no effect on the game that Jaewong's been able to play here.
No, certainly everything has been moving forward non-stop.
Some very intelligent plays on Jaewong's side of things.
Certainly,
and
certainly.
Has a very good card elo.
Could you go more into that card elo?
Yeah, so I mean, having the cards, having a lot of queens there has been very useful. Playing those queens very effectively, having those open hand 5s ended up coming out and being very, very preferential for Jaewong, getting some really good cards out of that. Could have easily gotten some cards that wouldn't be very useful at all, but also just having a lot of those open hands or open game 2s. I remember that it was at the second game, basically having, or it might have been the first game, and basically having a god hand to start the match, and the game where no player really drew. Avi had some pretty good cards there, but just wasn't enough to really stop the momentum Jaewong had, and then that just allowed Jaewong to move into the rest of those games kind of on a high. And I imagine already being on somewhat of a high, going and kind of just decimating the competition going into grand finals here. You got to feel pretty good about yourself, kind of waiting for your competition to finish out.
Yeah, certainly.
The only downside is Jaewong does have a long time to wait. You got a lot of games to finish up here before that happens.
You think that could cause any loss of momentum after that absolute run through?
I think in my case, I felt like there may be some amount of that. You're kind of waiting around. You kind of have a lot of concentration, a lot of intensity that you kind of have to lock in pretty effectively. And when you're just going from competitor to competitor to competitor, you're not necessarily thinking about who you're playing. You're just thinking about the next game. But then when you're in a situation where you're in grand finals waiting for losers round 2 and then losers round 3 and then losers final to finish out, you get to see your competition play some really tough matches. Just because a player is in the loser round of the bracket doesn't mean they're any less competent. So you start seeing all these kind of great plays happen while your competitors are going from game to game to game, and then they go right into grand finals with all this momentum while you've been kind of just watching them build that the whole time. And it can be quite intimidating.
Absolutely. How many tournaments have you played in?
I played in pretty much every tournament we've had except one in kind of our first year we started them, and that was when we were still doing tournaments with only 4 players. So I think we've been doing this for almost 5 or 6 years now. So you have 4 tournaments a year as well as a world tournament, which makes 5. So at this point, probably around 25 to 30, maybe closer to 35 tournaments under my belt here.
Wow, great stuff. I'm new to the tournament scene of this, and it is fascinating just seeing the plays and talking through them. You're really able to see like not only how the like card draw is different, but how just people play differently and what that does to the game.
Yeah, Wednesday night cuddle is a really good opportunity to practice and kind of get some experience in. But a lot of the long-term players have played so many games that Wednesday night cuddle just kind of becomes a social event. But then all of a sudden you see these players that maybe won't play as well on Wednesdays because they're either distracted talking or just kind of not taking it as seriously. Really lock in for these tournaments, and you start to see the kind of capability that our player base has in the top 10 to 15 players, especially.
Yeah, certainly. And then you also see Jaewong, who has absolutely torn through despite not really being at the Wednesday nights, but has came in still ready to go.
I've seen that plenty of times. Either a new player to the team kind of just tear through things, maybe not being around for even more than a year or a couple of months, or a long-term player that's kind of come in for the first time to play a really competitive tournament and just kind of show their capability. That just because they haven't played in a tournament yet doesn't mean they're any less potent than any other competitor that's done the amount of tournaments like I have. I mean, playing Jaewong, I think I played Jaewong in the first round and just got totally torched. So I know firsthand.
Incredible.
Is there any game we want to spectate here? We got some pretty good games going into losers. I'm not sure if I'm spectating anything.
Yeah, I just pulled up Aleph and Personman.
Okay.
And then we also have bbjme or HuntOrBeHunted as far as the losers bracket. Because, yeah, Jaewong has a long wait before we get to the end of losers finals.
Right. And HuntOrBeHunted is another first-time competitor in the tournament, and has done pretty well in a losers bracket. There could be a chance to make kind of a Cinderella run there and keep running through the competition if they have the ability to.
Yeah, jumping into the game we're in now. Just scrolling through the history, this has been quite a run through.
Oh wow, yeah, my goodness. I mean, they still have 13 cards left in the deck here, but they've done plenty of plays.
Zoning in the board where it is, we've got Aleph with pretty good defensive options, 2 aces, a 2, and a 4 to get rid of Personman's hand. And then showing up with a king and a king. Or excuse me, a 6 and a king.
Right. Personman also having a 4, a 7, an 8, and a 10, and then an ace for defense, which gets played right now, but Aleph can decide to counter or let that kind of fly and reload.
And he's got 2 aces of his own, so I don't know. He might want to reduce the board wipe so that there's going to be something on the board.
Right.
Yeah, Aleph's hand seems really geared toward his defense, but he's going to put a king queen out there anyway.
This is actually, knowing what we know as spectators, this is really good for him because Personman only has that 2, so if he decides to get rid of the queen, Aleph can just reload another queen and still have the same value on field. Personman does have a lot of high point cards with a 10 of spades and a pretty high 9 there, so if Aleph decides to start playing points, you can always scuttle instead.
Yeah, and Aleph doesn't have much to start building points with. Everything he has can be scuttled pretty easily by what Personman has.
Personman is a very methodical, time, based player, really kind of waiting patiently here, deciding what the next play is, probably looking through scrap to see what chances they have to play a card here or draw something of high value with so few cards left in the game, in the deck here. He gets a jack, which is only really effective when that queen is gone, so he goes to get rid of the queen, while kind of not knowing that Aleph has another queen just ready and waiting.
Which he plays right onto the board.
Has to hurt to see that happen. Plays a 7, gets a 10, and a 3 as an option. Likely going for the 10 to not give Aleph any more advantage in the point category, which he desperately needs.
Yeah, he seems to be weighing the options here. Maybe after looking through the scrap, there's something in there he wants. The 10 of hearts is pretty good as far as 10s go. And he has the 10 of spades that can't be countered.
That's right. Those 2 aces can be brutal there. So it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's what you have to do in that situation because you don't want to give Aleph any more card advantage.
Especially with the king already on the board.
Correct. But this will now give Aleph, I think, should be able to draw here. Be able to give him 2 3s, which could easily load up another 2 and get a high 10 from the scrap and be able to really start to possibly finish this game out here.
Yeah, they go back to drawing. Aleph draws a 3.
Yep, knowing that was already in play and makes sense.
Seeing only 1 ace in the scrap and only 4 cards left, maybe they're thinking about how many aces the other person has before they try and build up any board.
Yeah, that's what I would do as well. Start to really consider the odds of these 4 cards and what they might be. Goes for a double king strat, possibly having a chance to use that last 3 to pull out a 10 or get a jack from the scrap and be able to kind of pull whatever is already on the field on their side, which is that other 10.
Personman draws up to having 2 4s, which could really knock out anything that Aleph could have in his hand.
Yet decides to go for that other 3, getting that 10, knowing that the king can't be countered.
Yeah, it's a matter of time on if he thinks he could push for that 10 win before he gets everything out.
Yeah, Personman really has to start pushing forward here because at this point, there's really not any more options. There you go, playing that low 4 and possibly forcing a rough counter for Aleph. But Aleph has a 4 that he can counter, but decides to use the ace instead, knowing that he's got so much surplus here.
And he's got no points on his side of the board.
Yeah. Aleph can go for a win here if he decides to play the king now and counter any... I mean, Personman doesn't really have anything he can play besides that 9 for a one-off, but it'll only just delay the inevitable.
Yeah, I think things go very differently if he plays the king first, just because we know that Personman has a jack.
Right.
Which he does. So Personman is in check and needs to do something to get rid of these.
Knowing he doesn't have anything, plays an 8 to kind of signify a forfeit of sorts, or waving the white flag, and I totally understand being in that position.
Certainly, seeing the queen and 2 kings is rough. And
that is our first win in this for Aleph.
Could you remind me what the god combo is off the top of your head? Because I don't fully remember it.
It can vary depending on, because I think there's multiple situations where depending on your hand, you can have a win condition. But usually a god combo to me is, I mean, if you start a game and whatever cards you start with, which is either 5 or 6 cards, of those cards you can win immediately and kind of stop any momentum. So it's usually a king, queen, 10, and a 2. But it can be a combination of 2 2s and 2 kings and a 10. It can be, you know, a queen can be put in there instead and have two 10s and another point card. It kind of just, it varies, but it's usually king, queen, 10, 2.
Yeah, that's what I figured that much, seeing at the end of the last match with Aleph having 2 kings and a queen on the board and the 10 in waiting.
Right. Yeah, basically kind of encompassing what would be a god hand, with that having everything you need to kind of stop any countering or not having the ability to scuttle.
Alright, Personman starts off the queen and then a 5 to protect it. Has to go through building up his own hand.
Personman discards, has 3 2s in hand with 2 kings and an ace and a 4. All you really need is a 10 here to start having everything you need to win this match. But if Aleph starts to push for an offensive momentum here, it's going to force Personman to start using some of the value that he has in hand, and that could start to whittle away at whatever you have here.
Yeah, it goes for the 4 to stop any opposition before it has a chance to build up.
Pretty good play to do here while you're still waiting for some points to kind of fall into your lap. Aleph discards the ace of clubs and the 9 of clubs. They're deciding to keep the 2 6s for their value here against possibly that queen. And what he doesn't know is those 2 kings are still on Personman's hand.
Personman draws a 5. Pretty good to make something of what is so close to being truly a god hand. He just doesn't have the points to actually do much.
Right. Then you have to decide what to get rid of there. If you get rid of the ace, you might lose an ability to get rid of any points that are on Aleph's side of the board, or you can get rid of a 2. But a 3 can be a good card to use as fodder here for that 5. And unfortunately, just has too many cards in hand to use that 5 effectively. Decides to go for the king instead to start building up some sort of win condition once the cards get to the hand there. Aleph, of course, having 3 6s now. Probably feels like he can play a 6 here and start getting rid of any royals, but Personman, of course, having 3 2s can stop any sort of attempt at that.
Yeah, we might see going 1-for-1, 6s and 2s, depending on how bad he wants. Like, he's got 6s, he's got 2s. It depends on who wants to get rid of the board and who wants to keep it.
Right. Playing that 5, getting rid of the 3, but doesn't really get what you need there. A 4 is not ideal.
Gets another 3 if there's a card he
Definitely.
likes that he could search for. He just needs to
Correct.
get through them. Neither of them are really taking the time to draw the deck.
Wow, Aleph having all 4 6s, but really can't do anything defensively with those 6s as long as those 3 2s stay in play. But you have a lot of points there that if Aleph really wants to, he can start unloading some low points, forcing Personman to either scuttle with any points that he has in waiting, or that ace. And if he just continues to kind of push this point objective, Aleph would be able to win this game.
Yes.
Those 2s aren't really effective at all against points.
Yeah, he's still... Personman still has an ace to clear the board if Ava started building it up, but he has to take the time to build up first.
Decides to play the 4 to bluff having a 10. Personman decides to get rid of the king and queen that he had kind of ready and waiting. Interesting play when you have those 3 2s. Aleph decides to start playing those points. Ace comes out, gets rid of everything on the field, which isn't too bad for Personman, only having a 4 in play.
Yeah, now he has more options to guarantee points from his 3. And he still has... He could also just get that king back, and then he would have 2 kings and a queen again.
Aleph plays the 4, which I assumed would happen because there's so few cards in hand from Personman, which will likely force a counter here. Personman still has that 3, so he could always pull another point card, try to help offensively, or bounce that 2 back into the hand.
Draws a 10.
Gets the 10 that he needed. Might possibly use that 3 to get another king and start a god combo.
And he's got 2 2s. He could back it up.
Exactly. Decides to play the king here early. Technically being able to win here with the 10 and the 4, but not realizing that Aleph has a 10 of spades here that would be able to scuttle very effectively.
Counters the 6 again.
Countered. You really had to pull out a king here from the scrap if you have any chance of winning with this hand.
Decides to go for the 10.
But I imagine that'll get scuttled very quickly here. Not an ideal situation, but it'll keep Aleph around. Yep. Now Personman plays that 3, but it seems like it might be a little bit too late to win with this hand.
Pulls the 10 back out.
Spades. Yep. And plays that next 6. Gets countered. Personman doesn't have any ability to counter what's in play. Loses all the royals that were built up there. Pretty brutal situation. Not ideal.
Yeah, and draws a 10 next from the deck.
It's going to be pretty rough when that gets aced from Aleph's side. Aleph decides to play the jack and brings that 10 on his side of the board, his original 10 of spades. That 4 gets countered immediately.
It was going to be lost anyway.
Both players have pretty low hands here.
Yeah, I think we could see a lot of build-up after what was so close to a win condition is lost.
Now, Personman can play that 9 to at least bounce that 10 back, but he only has 1 turn, and it's not going to be enough to really put down the king and kind of force a check situation. About one turn too late in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, he could bounce the 10 back. He could bounce the jack back and then put... That would send the 10 back to his board.
Correct.
That's really where the end of the game lives, is being able to last just one turn more.
Right.
Yeah, he bounces the jack, takes the 10. It gives him a chance to have something before to...
Ooh, pulling a jack is actually really nice to at least have one more turn. Plays the 9 of spades, but Personman can scuttle with the 10. Aleph can likely play this 5 and get 3 more cards, or keep the ace and just simply draw. Decide to play the ace to get rid of that 10 of spades.
And now he's got a free hand to draw, and Personman only has a king. Aleph gets quite a good hand from that 5.
Yeah. But has another jack that just, again, a lucky pull of a jack there. Keeps him alive for one more turn. But Aleph also has a jack. And at this point, Personman can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that
Brutal
brings it
loss for
around.
Personman right there. It had kind of a win going on if he played that 3 at one point to get the king and create the god combo, but just, I guess, wasn't aggressive enough to kind of pull that off.
Just one card out of turn, losing that match.
Yeah. Aleph goes on to what I think would be losers round 3.
Yeah, it goes along to losers round 3. Baby J moved on, so now we're at Aleph versus Baby Jamie. Abe's still waiting from his loss with Jay Wong. They're both in a waiting period, waiting for everyone else to catch up to them.
I might have a game to play here. Let's see. Aleph versus Baby Jamie. Their match has been created, and it seems like they're just waiting for both players to join before they start. Probably taking a little breather. It's been a couple games for the two of them, and looks like their match has started.
Phenomenal. Let me get right there.
So Aleph start the game with a 2 kings, a 10, a 5, a 5, and a 2, which is very strong. While Baby Jamie has a 7, 2 8, a 9, and a jack. honestly, Aleph can start kind of pushing an offensive momentum here and seeing if bbjme has enough to stop it or play one of those 5 and discard one of the kings to see if they can go for more value. But currently, they'd be able to win with those 2 kings. And there would be nothing that bbjme could do to stop it, not having any sort of counter opportunities in the way of a 6 or 2.
Yeah, the best he could do is go for a 7 Hail Mary, and you just don't know how that's going to turn up.
Yeah, and of course, Aleph has to start setting up those kings, so in the next 2 draws, bbjme could find something useful, but really, you kind of just need a 2 and something to counter a 1 off like a 6, because having that 2 in hand, even if bbjme pulls a 6, Aleph would be able to counter with that 2, so you're kind of in a tough situation here.
Seeing things so close to the God combo hand, I would be personally itching to just sacrifice a 5 for the 5, pull 3 cards immediately, try and get what I need as soon as possible.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it seems like we're back to a very methodical first turn.
Yeah, which makes sense. You know, you have 41 cards to draw here. Your opponent could really have anything in hand. I mean, bbjme could have 3 2s in hand, could have 3 6s in hand. You really have no idea. So it's all about kind of what gusto and what kind of part of the cards you want to play here.
Aleph has been... Yeah, it just been thinking the same time we have. Immediately plays the king after bbjme draws.
Right. But gets jacked. Goes for the double kings.
Aleph,
trying to kind of set up a bluff.
bbjme's really in check here because Aleph could 2 that jack, get it back, and win immediately.
He could decide to ace and get rid of the 10 entirely, so that way Aleph doesn't have access to it, and does. Wow, it's a rough situation to be in to get rid of your own point card. But honestly, the right move. Aleph can decide here to play a 5, discard one of the 5s, and get 3 more cards, and kind of keep that 2 around.
Yeah, certainly. Seeing those 2 kings on the board, you kind of want a 10 that isn't really yours with that jack too. Fascinating.
Deciding to bluff with the 5.
He plays the 5 as a 1-off. He could have played it for points and won.
Hand. Oh my gosh. 2 10s and an ace. What a strong 5 play. Aleph wins that game pretty strongly.
Yeah, it is fascinating. A great pull from the 5, but he could have just played another one for points and gotten the win.
Right, yeah, very interesting. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even realize that. That's very true.
It worked out for him, so hey, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, but I mean, he could have got a bunch of 3s, and then, you know, and then you can settle that 5. So it's definitely a very interesting and risky play, but it worked out for him. Meanwhile, here, bbjme seems to have a much stronger hand with a king, queen, 9, 2 2s, and an ace. A very defensive stand, but also can be a very offensive stand depending on what points come in hand.
Yeah, Aleph
here having a king, 6, 7, 8, and 10.
Yeah, he continues with his offense, getting the king immediately on the board.
bbjme playing that queen just to double, making sure that none of those 2s he has can be countered at all. But it won't matter because Aleph doesn't have anything to kind of challenge those 2s.
Yeah, but queen on the board does so much. 2s and jacks, which are suddenly... They go from being great things in your back pocket to absolutely worthless in your hand.
Right. bbjme having 2 aces could be very useful here if Aleph starts to kind of play points, especially with that low 4. Having a 4 and an 8 on the field can technically still be a win condition, so I could see Aleph kind of trying to test bbjme's mettle to see if he'll scuttle with something higher or kind of waste value with those aces.
Yeah, getting that 4 for points does cause him to play, but it's one discard that you can't use.
Correct, and decides instead to play a 6 for its one-off, gets rid of the queens, and both players are now seemingly drawing to 8 cards to see what value they can pull out of the fresh deck here. Both players matching kings early on, but obviously Aleph having the win condition set up, so it's up to bbjme to play that 6 and get rid of the kings.
Yeah, you really want to win quickly having those 2 aces as far as bbjme has. Any kind of build up.
Neither player really wanting any royals on the field too. They're just getting rid of those royals very fast.
Yeah, I believe we're coming up on the deck already being exhausted of them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll have to check the scrap once bbjme discards here. Let's see. We've got oh, can't see again. Let's see.
Pulling another 2 for insurance.
Almost all kings already done with, and 2 queens in the scrap. bbjme pulling out that 2 again to have some protection.
Aleph's got some high points and a jack.
10. Yeah. It's a pretty effective 4 here. Can get rid of some of those lower cards at least, but having 3 10s now. Having 2 aces is just what you need if you're bbjme.
Yeah, he's got some real good defense, and with half of the queens gone, the 9s are going to be pretty useful. Just buying time, as we've seen, just one turn can make all the difference.
Aleph pulling out the 8 for glasses. This is a card Aleph does like to utilize pretty frequently. I haven't seen him use it yet. Obviously, seeing what bbjme has, having those 2 jacks, 2 aces, and that 2 kind of stops you from playing anything at this point and just kind of drawing for anything. Oh, 2 2s in hand. bbjme is basically going to stop anything that Aleph has.
Yeah, Aleph's has got quite a lot of force in his hand, but it can all be countered by bbjme, which he knows now.
I'm not sure what you do here. bbjme using one of those jacks. Yep. Seeing if bbjme will play into that. He can obviously use a jack to pull back, but has all of the 10s he wants to scuttle whatever bbjme has, which is not as many points for sure. Only has those 2 9s. And there goes one of them.
Yeah, up until this point, if there was an ace, all of the points on the board would have come from Aleph. Would have been real sad to see for him.
Yeah.
They're back to being evenly matched, scuttling that 9 with a 10.
Aleph, of course, being able to scuttle again with a higher point card in the 2 10s, but now is only with 1 10 left if he does indeed scuttle here, which I imagine he will.
Yeah, bbjme's in a tough spot right now. 2s can't stop scuttling, and he's the one with the higher board.
What he could have done there. I mean, bbjme wouldn't have had anything to do a win condition there. Having a 9 and an 8 wouldn't have allowed him to win with the 2 aces and the 2 2s. So Aleph could have played a 10 on his side of the board and forced bbjme to use one of his aces instead of scuttling. It would have gotten rid of more cards on bbjme's side of the board, and Aleph would have still lost the same amount of cards. But now bbjme technically in check, but obviously Aleph knows that he isn't indeed in check. Having that 8 of glasses, decides to jack instead and force either a 2 or an ace to be played here to get rid of all the point cards on the board.
Yeah, sitting at 17 points right now, bbjme's got to know that he's got to clear the board.
Decides to play that 2, is still technically in check, but Aleph knows, and honestly, bbjme should know that Aleph knows that he doesn't actually indeed have him in check.
But if on the
You have to
next
remember, just
turn,
because your opponent can see your hand also means that you know your opponent can see your hand. So you should be playing around that information.
Aelif's got to do something
Doesn't
right
do any
now,
good bluff.
because if he doesn't, then he could 2 and send the points back to him. He decides to get rid of all the jacks.
Yeah, which
he's got to
well,
counter.
Maybe Jimmy can counter. Yeah.
Because that would leave him with 17 points.
Correct. I think it looks like Aelif is kind of trying to play his hand down to maybe play an open hand 5 again. But yep, does just that, scuttles that 9, and will be able to play that open hand 5, knowing that he's not in any danger of being put into check currently. And certainly isn't now. Gets a king, a 7, and a 3, which isn't the best situation, but having 2 3s, you can start pulling a 2 back out of the scrap pile. Or an ace. I think an ace might be the best situation for Aelif, knowing that bbjme does have a decent amount of points here. Nothing that he would be able to scuttle. But he does have a 5, so he can play that 5, get rid of one of the 3s, and still have another 3 in waiting, and get 3 more additional cards of value. It does help knowing that he has the last king in the game, with the other kings currently in the scrap pile.
Right, bbjme draws some more of a new hand.
The queen can be useful to stop any sort of countering, but all 4 jacks are currently in the scrap pile, so it's not going to be useful in terms of protecting against jacks right now. Aelif, I would probably want to play this 5.
Yeah, I'm thinking something similar. There are only so many more things in the draw pile.
Right. Both players are probably going to want to be desperately trying to see what value they can get left in the deck before the hands get revealed.
Aelif just draws.
Decides to draw, gets a 2. Which is one last card he'll need to pull out of the scrap if he decides to pull some defense in order to stop bbjme's offensive advantage.
Yeah, it really seems like he should play that 5, because he's got 1 more 3 in waiting. Goes ahead and pulls from the scrap.
Interesting. I wonder if he'll pull a high 10 here. Yeah, and does.
I'm wondering if he's waiting to be able to draw out the deck with the 5.
Could. But now he's at a situation where he's got to get rid of the cards he has, which might be that 3 and 7 or 5 and 7. I imagine probably a combination of the 3 and 7 just to have some. Oh wow!
The 5 and the 3.
So having the
He got rid of the things that could get him new
still kinda carrying a win
cards.
position. Yep, and has an ace, which is a good defensive play right here, with all the points kind of on bbjme's side. But bbjme pulls a 3, which could be very, very useful here.
Yeah, there's nothing in the draw pile. Every new card is gonna have to come from the scrap.
I think whatever bbjme pulls isn't going to really help him too much here. He can pull the 3, but if he pulls a 2, Aelif can still play one of the 2s or one of the 6s to stop any queen. But not exactly sure what he's going to pull here.
He's pulling a 4.
4. Huh.
So
I
now,
guess trying to get rid of anything in hand that Aelif may have as an advantage.
yeah, now they can see each other's hands, so he decided he wants to get rid of what Aelif has.
Aelif plays the 7 to pressure a scuttle here, or an ace.
Goes for the scuttle.
Scuttle. may attempt it again. Of course, any card that bbjme scuttles means it's one less card he can use to win with, and currently can still win with the 10, 7, and 4, but
That's
those
all
are
he
still
can
cards
do.
that Aleph can scuttle with. Yeah. So it looks like we might be heading into a stalemate here for game 2. And there's the stalemate request, right on time. The players decide it's not worth continuing.
Going right into the next
Game
match.
3.
Right, starting off strong with bbjme for the new hand. He's got 2 royals, a 2 that can be used for anything, and then he's got a 7 that could turn into anything.
And now Jack being pulled.
Looks really good for building up a possible board.
Right.
Aleph is aggressive with a
Just
king
gonna
right
have
out
to
again.
say- He's got a kind of a hand here that I'm not exactly sure what it could be. You got King 7 is now played, puts bbjme in check here. bbjme decides to scuttle. Can scuttle again here, or see if Aleph has a higher point card he wants to play before he pulls out the jack. And I'm sure he probably jacks here, and he does.
You've been reading these really well, I gotta say.
Yeah, I just realized that. Like, the last 3 things I've mentioned have all happened literally the next second.
That is amazing.
Yeah, you start to, I guess I realize, you play enough games, you can kind of read your opponents pretty well and read what you would do in their situation. bbjme plays the 10, puts him in check, and he plays the 4 to get rid of the hand advantage. Unfortunately, not able to win with that 3.
Use it to pull.
Going fast here. My goodness. Full throttle. Aleph plays the 3, gets a 6 to be able to get rid of any of the royals on field, but bbjme gets the 2 to be able to stop that from happening. Aleph is kind of without play, so he's going to have to draw here, knowing that bbjme has that 2.
Just decides to
do it
scrap.
anyway, just to get rid of it. Knowing that bbjme doesn't have anything in hand, but he gets the 5 and decides to just win with that. Both players are now 1-1. That was a quick game, my goodness.
Phenomenal. Now we're getting into our best of 5 with Aleph and bbjme, so there's still a lot of more matches to go for them.
bbjme currently having a queen, jack, 6, 2 2s, and an ace, a very defensive hand, whereas Aleph has 2 4s, an 8, 9, 10, and a queen. So early on, this could be a very almost trolling hand here to play those 2 4s and get rid of any points that, or any card advantage that bbjme might have, or at least force one of the 2s to be pulled out since he has 2 of them.
Yeah, they've both got queens waiting, so it's hard to tell if those jacks that bbjme has are going to be any use.
Decides to draw instead. Has 2 10s there, which is very useful for a situation where bbjme doesn't really have any points. And he does have those 2 jacks, but the minute Aleph plays that queen, he can neutralize that. But of course, bbjme can go ahead and play his own queen, counter with the 2, and be able to play all 3 of those jacks if he wanted to. My goodness.
Yeah, he starts off with it.
Queen, maybe start that. Aleph, I assume, may match that, or play a 7 here for a one-off effect.
Yeah, if Aleph does match with the queen, then bbjme's gonna have a lot in his hand that just isn't useful anymore.
He does match that queen. bbjme can decide to 2 and get rid of the queen immediately, which he does. Aleph has 3 4s, which can be a very effective situation to get rid of any cards that bbjme might have, or force a 2 to be used.
Yeah, playing a couple of them would be good to clear those out so he could make his own board.
Yeah, playing 3 4s back to back like that can be really demoralizing for your opponent. Decides to hold off on it and plays that 8 to see what bbjme might do. D holds off on playing that Any of those jacks? Wow. Guess maybe and decides to do it now.
Aleph goes for the 7,
Aleph
seeing
plays
what's
the
there.
7. Decides he might play a 5 for its one-off, but
He's
Baby
got a
Jamie
lot of
may
points in
decide to counter
hand.
here. If I'm Baby Jamie, I might counter here because you can pull the 3 with your next card and get your 2 back here. Really not losing any sort of value and stopping your opponent from getting a lot. Decides to play the 3 instead, leaving the 5 there. I guess maybe pulling the 2 back out of the scrap, which he does. Baby Jamie instead playing that, getting another 5 back, which he knew about, and some 6s and 9s. I mean, really effective defense here, which isn't exactly what you need. Aleph finally playing that 8, seeing that he really can just... yeah, you can scuttle with that 10. Another 3 comes, or is a 7, I think, and an ace. Hard to tell what was drawn there.
Yeah, things are moving fast now.
Yeah.
Pulls 7 to a
Being
7.
on mobile, it's kind of hard to tell. Okay. Puts him in check again, forces any sort of scuttle to happen.
Yeah, he's gonna have to work hard to lose some of his high point cards to scuttle.
Aleph has that too, but it can't be effective against that jack while that queen is still in play. And he knows he can't play it anyway because Baby Jamie has another 2 that he can always counter with. Now the 4 start coming out. It's a good time to start pushing that.
Baby Jamie draws up again with a 5.
Get the value back. Build those cards right back up, and then another 4 comes in to reduce it once again. But decides to counter instead, knowing that he's got the 2 3s. Yep, bounces the 3, gets the 2 right back.
Same old song.
Another 4 comes out, forcing the 2. The 3s are done with. Let's see, is that all the 3s in game? No, there's still 1 more left in play.
Decides to use his 2.
See if he decides to counter here.
He's got a lot left over if he does. The resolve is keeping his 2.
Maybe Jamie just that point advantage. Puts him in check. Counters with the 10.
Aleph has
Just
nothing
point
more.
Advantage and in here. Baby Jamie counters. Plays a 6. And there is win 2 for Baby Jamie. Only 1 more win to win this matchup. Baby Jamie having a good starting hand here with a 2, 5, 9, 10 of spades, and a jack. Aleph has a queen, lower seed 10, 3 3s, and an ace, which is not really what you want to see to start out a game.
No, it seems like he's gonna have a long wait before he can get anything useful out of those 3s.
Oh, and Baby Jamie getting the 2 2s. But Aleph now having 2 10s. King comes out from Baby Jamie. Aleph having the queen. Can neutralize kind of any offensive threat as long as he's got an ace. Decides to jack that 4. Interesting. Technically putting his opponent in check and forcing a scuttle to happen. Still technically in check because he's got the 2 10s. Scuttles with the 10 of spades, not wanting to use one of his valuable cards on a 3, which is smart by Aleph. Pulls the jack back. Interesting. I guess maybe thinking that Baby Jamie's going to want to play really offensively here. It's going to stop any of that momentum. Baby Jamie decides to use that 2 to get rid of the queen in case that happens.
Yeah, Aleph had quite...
technically putting his opponent back in check.
Aleph had quite a build up having those points on the board with that queen behind him.
Right. Not really not having anything with just the 3, but no one really wants to get rid of the 3 because it's so low value that it'd be useless to waste any sort of ace or high point card to scuttle with.
Yeah, and certainly
not useful for a jack. Still putting that pressure.
Yeah, with a 3 and an 8, he puts him in check, especially with the 10 we know he has.
Decides to counter, not having the cards he needs. What an interesting bluff. Gets a lucky jack, which is going to be helpful here, and has a king. So if he's able to get a 10 here, he could win the match. But Aleph 1 going from the scrap. Let's see, he might pull out a 2 here or a 6. I don't know if it's... I think there's a 6 in play.
Pulls out a 10.
Goes for a 10 of spades, which is useful because you can always scuttle with that, and it's a good point advantage to have. It threatens your opponent because you do have that 3 still in play.
Yeah, you need to assume.
Sort of all the worlds.
You need to assume when you're in check that the person has a 10, and now he knows that he does. So it's less likely that he's bluffing for anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I think the other 10s are in the scrap. So bbjme should know that Aleph doesn't have another 10 to be able to do that. But can always have a high 9, which he does, to be able to still win the game. Decides to play the 6 for points, put his opponent in check. See if he can force out one of those 2s. Or, of course, play the ace here.
Yeah,
which would be ideal, but...
What makes you say that, since he only has that 3 on the board?
Well, I mean, I feel like sometimes if you play an ace, you want to kind of use it for something of higher value, especially because you have options to scuttle with as well. And you don't know if your opponent has a 2 to counter with, but obviously he has another 2 in hand, so... The point being is if you scuttled there, you would only waste 1 point card, whereas if you played the ace, your opponent counters and then you counter, you lose 2 possible defensive strategy options.
I see.
But luckily it didn't happen, so we only lost that ace there and kept this 2, but obviously just used that 2 anyway to counter. Let's see, what did he counter? Did he counter a 5?
Yeah, I countered a 5.
Wow. Interesting. Double kings.
He's got nothing to protect him. He's got no 2s, but if he can get back to him...
Really useful to have that queen on the board. Means he can play any sort of defensive 6 there. Blows it all up. And now Aleph has the king. I think the last king left in the deck starts playing that to try to go on the offensive with that 10 of spades that bbjme still knows about.
bbjme's in check, knowing he has that 10. Takes it for himself, behind the queen.
Yeah, does that instead of waiting for the 10 of spades to come out, because he could have scuttled with the 10 of hearts. He may do it here. He is safe to ace, but obviously he would get rid of the 10 of diamonds that he might be able to use. Decides to ace. He does have a point advantage here, but he might not if Aleph decides to play a 4, and he might just now having 2 4s.
Yeah, Aleph is really set up.
Yeah, oh my goodness, having a 2 and a 3 to be able to kind of bounce a 2 back in hand, but you know, using a 4 to start. Ooh, it's brutal. The 4 from bbjme really forces Aleph to get rid of likely the 2 4s. Aleph's only option here is to try to win with the 10 and the 6, possibly playing a 3 to get something of value from the deck. But honestly, I mean,
Yeah, it's the only value he has. because being able to keep that 2 twice for defense by keeping that 3, and the only other things he has are points, so he's knocking out a lot of his offensive strategy by having to discard those 4s.
Unfortunately, I can't see Baby Jamie's hand, so I can't really see what, let's see here. Yeah, he has nothing, I don't think. Yep. Oh, you're gonna use the 3 now. I guess having, getting 2 2s here.
A second
Getting
king.
a king instead. Yeah. Yeah, there was kind of a couple different ways you could have played that, but that's an easy move here because Baby Jamie doesn't have any sort of 6s to be able to, or 2s to get rid of any of the royals. Only gets rid of it for a certain amount of time.
And he's got to move fast in that time.
Man, if I was Aleph, I would have just used the 2 I already have to get rid of the queen, and then use the 3 again to get that 2 back. But I guess you might have been a turn behind. I guess, yeah. You know what? That's probably wouldn't have been the ideal move. Place the 6 here to force a scuttle. Yeah, that was the right move. Okay, yep. And now I can just play the... Baby Jamie can't really stop it.
Not playing that last 8 while he can, and then Aleph wins with the 2 kings on the board and a 10.
Both players tied 2-2 here.
Both players tied 2-2 in one stalemate.
A lot of games being played. Whew, that's an interesting hand. A queen, 2 jacks, a 3, and a 2 currently on Baby Jamie's side. Counter comes out for that 5. Double counter. Baby Jamie knowing that he has so much more value you can get here. Aleph having a 2 3s, a 4, 8, 10 queen. Probably why he was so willing to play that 2, knowing he could get one of the 2s back with one of those 3s early in the game. Tries to play the queen instead. Which is probably smart, means that any 3 he plays wouldn't be countered by that 2. Tries to go for points immediately instead. Lucky break with that 2. And a double.
Getting real lucky with just the original card draws. He's got a lot of setup here, but nothing that can really push towards a win quite yet.
Right.
He goes for it anyway. He can use the 3 if he could keep it. Can't.
Gonna force the objective with one of those 3s. Wow.
So now Baby Jamie's in
Forcing
check.
Baby Jamie to react. Scuttles. Might possibly play the 4 here to get rid of whatever value Baby Jamie has left in his hand. Decides to use the 2 to get back that 10 of spades and put his opponent in check bluffing.
Just gets him right back.
Oh man, having another 2 for points is pretty useful here. Yep.
Yeah, he's got another 2 in the back pocket.
Baby Jamie has to scuttle here. But Aleph can do the same thing with that 2, or use that 4. Gets rid of whatever he has left first.
Counters that. He has to. Baby Jamie's running out of options.
Yeah. You know, you could resolve this and keep your 2 because it still gets rid of the 2 that Baby Jamie had, and he certainly does. Gonna use that 2 to get that 10 back on his side of the board, and then use the 3 to finish it off as a point.
Yeah, there's a lot of deck left. It's hard to tell what they're gonna pull from in this last little bit.
Decides instead to get another 2, which is honestly just, he waited 1 turn too long and now has to use that 2 he just pulled. The 2 could have just as easily won with 2 10s on the board, but wanted to go with the double option for defense when should have just pushed for advantage there. Lucky draw with that jack. Aleph has no choice but to use that 4 to get rid of the 7 that Baby Jamie has and hopefully get something to pull out a win here. Put himself on the back foot.
Yeah, things took a very quick return right there.
Certainly.
Now things are starting to slow down. Would you repeat that for me of just like how things turn so quickly?
In those last couple turns, yeah, it was interesting. You know, Aleph had a really good advantage having a 3 and a 2 there, um, with Baby Jamie only having that queen and then the point card. He really could have used that 2 he had to get rid of the jack that was on Baby Jamie's side of the board. Got those 2 10s back, which he currently now has. Oh wow, I missed that. How did that turn out? Baby
Aleph
Jamie
just
just
drew a
decided to play
card.
for points there. Wow. Baby Jamie ended up winning that match. It seemed like for so long that was Aleph's game to win. I think it was just a little bit too hesitant there. Just thought that maybe Baby Jamie had an option to stop him, which he didn't, and then he was able to draw that option by letting his opponent have one more extra turn. So it's pretty brutal if you were to look at that in the replay and kind of realize.
Yeah.
Baby Jamie now moving forward to play Avi in losers final.
All right, let's see where their game's gonna come up from.
Here, I'll be.
It is no trouble. Thank you for the assistance. Your commentary's been very insightful. All right, looks like the Avi and Baby Jamie match is starting up soon. We're able to get that going. It's going to lead us to the finals of the losers bracket. Whoever's going to come back and go against Jaewon. Right, this is going to put us in the place to what's going to lead to the grand finals.
All right, let's see. The start of Baby Jamie versus Avi here. Avi's at the top of our screen. Baby Jamie's at the bottom. Avi has an 8, 7, 4, 3, 2 2s there. Our Baby Jamie has a 4, a 9, 2 10s, and a jack. One player having a lot of defense, one player having a pretty good amount of offense.
Yeah, we've seen AV in a lot of high intensity matches so far, while Baby Jamie has really done well in focusing and building up.
And of course, these two players just battled each other in the winner's side of things, and now they're kind of matching up again on the loser's side. So this is a rematch of sorts, which, if I'm not mistaken, Baby Jamie, I think, won that.
Yeah, let me pull that back up again on my side.
Yeah, what did you say?
I'm just pulling the bracket up again on my side while not like changing the stream. Yes, Avi and Baby Jamie met again on round 2, or met for the first time in round 2. Baby Jamie got knocked out. Here they are back again. just drawing so far. Baby Jamie takes a 5 to draw more, building up his hand. I feel like once things get started, they'll move very quickly, so they're both building up right now.
He had a lot of points on Baby Jamie's side of the board, and a queen is going to be useful against that jack that Avi just pulled. Great 6 by Avi to keep the points on his side of the board. Doesn't currently have anything to win with, but the minute he gets a high point card, like a 10, I'm trying to wrap this up. Unfortunately, Baby Jimmy has 2 10s on his side of the board, which means the likelihood of drawing a 10 here early in the game is going to be pretty low. Correct. Two jacks are really useful here. Avi can counter. It does. Using that 3 to get that 2 right back. Does get that 10, one of those 10s out of the way. Plays a queen. Both players playing queens. It's a tough situation. He might have to use that 2 to get rid of the queen the minute 10 start rolling out. Or he could ace. Ooh, there's that 10. Oh, what a situation to have a king. What a great pull there. Baby Jamie takes game 1. Avi deciding to immediately play the queen, having a 3, 5, 9 and jack in hand. Well, Baby Jamie at the top of the screen plays the 4 to get rid of whatever value he has left. Possibly thinking, Avi has really good win condition here. Just wants to get rid of whatever he has just to be safe. Definitely. bbjme counters having those 2-2s, knowing that 5 in an open hand is a really good advantage. Unfortunately, bbjme doesn't really have anything to start an offensive attack. Navi pulls a really good 9. Avi again starting from square one, trying to play another 5 and getting. This time around, bbjme has a card advantage to win. And he certainly could play that now, but he decides to wait and get another. May have waited too long. But luckily he has those 4s that he can get rid of Avi's hand. Plays another 5. This is the 4th open hand 5 Avi has tried to play. And bbjme just continues to get rid of it. And unfortunately waited too long because Avi now has 2 aces through all of that. I think he probably should have just went for the points when Avi had so few cards left. Yep, and a 3 to be able to bounce that 2 back. There is. bbjme having that king and a lot of points, really useful. Even if Avi can scuttle or use that ace, he's only going to be able to do that for 1 card at a time. That's right. bbjme decides to let that king go. Avi able to pull that 2 back. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess he doesn't really know what Avi has, but I mean, he could have easily just kept playing points and won out that way. I guess I'm not sure when he got that 6. I'm not sure when that 6 got on Avi's side of the board, but if he didn't have that 6 when he tried to do that in the first place, he would have just been able to play points and points and points with that king and would have been able to win. An 8 and an ace is a really interesting kind of point total to have, but once you have that king out, you're technically in check. Mm-hmm. queen is so vital to have here. Wow, what do you pick? I guess you go with the 10. King isn't really useful when you don't have any 10s on your side of the board. Yeah. Unfortunately, Avi didn't play that queen early enough. He was able to take game 2. Plays an open hand 5. Probably gets rid of that 8. Decides to keep the 8. Got rid of the jack instead. Interesting. Ends up being a smart move because Avi has those 2 queens. Two twos and a queen on board. Avi has a lot of safety net. Even if bbjme was able to have a 2 with 2 threes to bounce it, it's not really going to do anything. And really, I don't blame him. I mean, he can play a king right now, or play another 8 and force a scuttle to happen. But he can also play those 4s and really force bbjme into some difficult scuttle situations. Which he does. He continues to play the 8 and the 4s together. Forces out a 10. Oh, just reloads a 2 immediately. Both players reloading their 2s, I would imagine. Yeah. But Avi has the advantage with 2 2s. And 3 kings. Right, I'm not sure if bbjme has anything to really stop this. You do need 5 points. Which Avi doesn't currently have, and draws another 4, which is pretty brutal. Maybe the ace, because he's got 2 kings on the board. So, I mean, you need something to be able to stop the kings, not necessarily points. He decides to do just that. Plays a king, pushes an advantage there, and then is going to play the open hand 5 if he has the ability to. And does. Gets another 5. Decides to keep the 6 instead to get rid of those, because that's exactly what he was looking for. Ends up saving his game here. A situation, you're going to have to use that 9 to scuttle 4. Gets a 6, which isn't the best card to have, but it's better than giving it to your opponent to get rid of your king. Mm-hmm. bbjme that. And finally gets rid of the king. That's been really stopping his ability to build momentum. Fortunately, I don't think he'll be able to stop him now. both players have a win under their belt. Of course, Baby Jamie having the advantage of the two. Avi has a chance to win right here. Yeah, Baby Jamie isn't able to stop him at all. Counter, plays 5, immediately ties it up. Baby Jamie having 3 jacks gets rid of one of them and gets a 2, a 3, and a 4 with an 8. So very defensive. Well, Avi has a king, 10, 8, 8, 7, 4. So Avi is likely going to try to play points early here. But Baby Jamie has plenty to kind of pull back on. Yep. Gonna jack there, jacks again. Avi's gonna try to play that 2 or scuttle. Decides to play the 2, which is a risky play, and Baby Jamie's able to counter that and take the win. Oh no, he's able to counter it back. I'm sorry. Oh, brutal. Gets rid of the 10 of spades. Oh my goodness. What a bounce back, and gets rid of all the points with his ace. Ah, man, that's tough by Baby Jamie. I would have probably tried to play that 3, gotten the 2, and then played the 5 for, well, I guess you have to get rid of any, never mind. I'm having a hard time keeping up. Yeah. Avi matches that queen, knowing he's got a spare, and wait. Whew. Okay, there goes that second queen. Baby Jamie reloading his 2. Avi getting another set of points. Both players are very point heavy, but Baby Jamie has those 2 aces with a queen out that can really neutralize any threat. Yep. Yes, Avi continually playing 6s to get rid of any royals that Baby Jamie has on his side of the board. Yeah, it's a great strat, honestly. Baby Jamie now playing that queen, knowing that his aces can't be stopped. Hoping that Avi continues to push the point objective, knowing that so many royals are already out of play. Gets the counter, or tries to get rid of the queen. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, the queen stops that. Mm-hmm. But having a 2 and a king right there can be useful, depending on what ends up going through here. If you're Avi, you can start to play that king and just continue to push points and force Baby Jamie to utilize any value left in their hand to get rid of your advantage, and then probably cause a stalemate to happen. Decides instead to get rid of the queen immediately, which doesn't really change much of the well, I guess you can use that 2 to counter now. Maybe Jamie decides to get rid of the points of that ace, having another one ready and waiting. Avi starts the offensive advantage, playing as king. Not really much for baby Jamie to do, but pass. Right. Yes, yeah, baby Jamie has the higher 10 there. Yeah, Avi can play points here, but any point he plays can be scuttled immediately, so I imagine they're probably just going to pass this out. Yep. Both players have somewhat similar hands. They have queens and jacks. Baby Jamie getting a 2 first. Both players putting their queens out on the board early. Baby Jamie pushing the advantage of the king and queen, but Avi has that 6 to be able to blow up everything. Avi gets another queen. Can start this kind of all over again with putting a queen out on the board first. It's usually a pretty safe play when you have full hands, but may wait on this now that he has the ability to draw cards again now that this 4 is being used. And does. Gets a 2, which is very useful to have. I can see a 3 and an 8 going as well. Oh wow, gets rid of the ace and the 8. Gets another 3. Oh, not ideal. Wow. Counters. Multiple counters going out. He may just pull a 2 back, yep. And reloading his 2s. They're not exactly going to be effective once that queen comes out, but I'm sure. Yeah, he decides to let him have that 3 to get a 2. Counters it. So many 3 counters going off here. Baby Jamie gets 2 kings, a 10 and a 2. Could theoretically win this, but of course Avi plays a queen, which may stop things for the time being. As soon as he pulls out 2 there. But baby Jamie's able to pull a queen. So it's not going to be super effective here. Yep. But he can play a 5 here and see what other value he can get out of the deck. Getting rid of the 4 likely. Yep. Oh, and there's that 6. This actually puts Avi in a very good position to win this. He doesn't necessarily have the highest 10 in play, but he's got 2 of them. But there is 2 jacks as well. Jack, he plays that other 10, knowing it doesn't really matter just yet. Baby Jamie likely going to play his other jack, putting his opponent in check. Avi, of course, having more 2s than his opponent does. So he should be able to outlast an ace or 2. Unfortunately, bbjme has the highest 10, so he can scuttle anyway. bbjme pulls out the other jack. Let's see. I imagine the jack comes up here. Yep. If bbjme uses a one-off here, it could be over. Unless he uses that 10 to scuttle with and plays the safer bet. But obviously, playing very aggressive here. He could easily have... And he does. I think he does know he at least has 1-2 in hand. Through a lot of those 3s, bouncing those 2s back. Oh, goes for the ace, gets countered. Counter again. Avi counters again with his 2. And wins. Avi takes the set. Wow. Yeah. Played a lot of games. But now gets to go back up into grand finals against Jaewong, who's been waiting for what seems like maybe an hour here. 4 different games have gone on since Jaewong got to grand finals. Yeah, this is a rematch from winners finals. Avi can definitely do a redemption arc here, or Jaewong can push the objective that she definitely has the win against Avi in this tournament. Definitely, and I imagine Jaewong's likely been watching this all happen and kind of taking some mental notes of how things are going to go. But the way this works, you know, with grand finals, Jaewong does have an advantage being able to have 2 sets she can run through before Avi wins. Of course, if she wins 1 set, Avi loses. Avi would have to reset the bracket and then play her again in order to win. Yeah, that's a smart play. There we go. Jaewong having 2 twos of a 10 of spade and a king is really good to start out with. My goodness. I mean, I think other than that jack in Avi's hands, if Avi didn't have that, Jaewong would probably be able to push this initiative and take game 1. Oh, good to have a queen out, but of course that allows Avi to play a queen right after. Jaewong may play this 4 here, but she might need it if she wants to win this right now. She may play it safe and just draw instead. Decides to go for the king immediately. Yeah. Counters with the 2. It's smart by her, because even though Avi has that queen, he's put into check immediately and can't stop it. Plays the ace, counters again. Jaewong takes game 1. Wow, that was a great play to push the initiative immediately. Jaewong has 2 4s in hand, a 6, 8, 9, and jack, while Avi has 3, 6, 8, 9, and 2 kings. Jaewong can easily rip these 4s immediately and reduce the advantage Avi has, and then kind of push whatever she wants to after. But instead decides to draw. fair. Ooh, draws a good 2 there. Jaewong has to play something here. Cannot draw with having 8 cards in hand. Can definitely play a 7 or play a 6 for its 1-off. Get rid of one of the kings, which definitely would need to anyway with having 2 kings. Decides to rip one of those 4s instead. Yep, and then can do it again and kind of whittle Avi down to just 1 card or 2 cards if he draws. Knowing that she has the 2, she can play that 4 as a 1-off here and get rid of Avi's hand, and then decide to jack after. Yes, that's the right move. Gets rid of those 2 9s, can jack immediately. Oh, but Avi grabs a 2. But no card advantage from Avi's side. So bbjme or Jaewong plays those points, counters, and plays points again to win game 2. Wow. Oh man, Avi having a brutal starting hand with 3 queens, 2 jacks, and a 10. Jaewong having a 4, a 5, 2 6s, an 8, and a 9. Gets 2 6s, which will neutralize a couple of queens for sure. Yeah. Just gonna keep reloading these queens and keep reloading these queens. Yep. Might as well. Probably getting 2 kings now, and has a 10 in hand. Yeah, and currently has nothing to stop King 10 from going off. Decides to play the 5, knowing she would get the 10 anyway. Has plenty of points here, but Avi has plenty of jacks. Wow, 3 10s, but it's going to be useless against the King 10 combo. Definitely has to pull that 3 to get something of value. Get one of the 6s. Oh, Avi, you need to push this now. That queen is going to be able to have so much advantage. Right. Jaewong can play another point, but eventually she's going to have to play at that 7 to see if she can get anything to stop these royals from going off. Decides to hit it now. Not what you need, but you can play a 3 to get a 6 because you know it's coming. There's something coming with those royals. You need to get them out of there. And grabs the 6. And Jaewong can easily just start playing points now because he doesn't need that queen to win. Seven goes off. 8 goes up for points. Jaewong has to scuttle here or play that 6. The scuttle would be the right move here to start with. Decides to just rip the 6. Ten comes right back out, so you have to scuttle anyway. It's a much tougher situation to be in now that those jacks are back in play. Probably would have been safer to save him. and just scuttle to start instead of blowing up all the royals just yet. Oh, man. And a 2 for reinforcement. Fortunately for Jaewong, he only has the 9 now, so I mean, you scuttle here, and it's going to stop him from at least trying to push an objective, unless he wants to bluff. Well, 2 2s. Not necessarily what you want right now. You want some points. Jaewon getting that 2, which could be useful, but it's a false sense of security because Avi has 2 2s. Yeah, well, he has that 5, so he can win if that 9 stays out for another turn. Nah, see. Yeah, that's not going to be useful here. Avi can counter, you can counter back, but Avi's got the 2 2s. Just enough points to win. Avi takes game 1, or takes 1 win, takes game 3. We're on to game 4. Here we go. That's right. Avi's used to this. It's gonna be tough too, because even if he's able to win this match, they have to do the bracket reset. So, but you do have a lot of momentum going in when you do kind of pull that out like that. If you're down 2 games, win 3 games, cause the bracket reset, you have so much momentum on your side. I can imagine the nerves getting to both opponents here while they know that they're essentially at match point. Wong plays the 2, gets rid of the queen, which is useful in the situation where he has a jack. May pull the jack here or wait. And use, plays that. Jack comes back. Oh no. Plays a 4, gets countered, and Avi's able to win game 4. Both players now tied 2-2. Wow, Avi's starting out really strong. 2 10s, or 2 kings, a 10, 7, and 2 5s. Daewong having an 8. Oh, and a 2. I mean, we are looking at possibly an unstoppable hand right here. I think playing another 5 here, just reinforcing, getting another 5. Jaewong at least has a queen and 2 aces, but it's not going to be effective against 2 kings coming out. There's the first king. You got to play that queen now. Yep. Here comes the second king. And then you going with the 5 first. Forcing a scuttle. Luckily, having one of those 7s you can rip is not that hard to scuttle a 5 with. Yeah, it's safe, but you never feel good about acing just a singular 5. Going with both. Can't. Oh, man. Can't scuttle anymore. Now you have to play one of those 7s. Part of the cards. Oh, brutal. Oh, wow. Avi forces the bracket reset. Wow. And there goes game 1 of grand finals. Both players likely needing to leave their lobby and starting a new game. I don't know. It depends. I don't know if they'll continue or not. Makes more sense to keep up with games. So in order for things to be fair, when you have a winner side and loser side of the bracket, every player must lose at least twice, or has to lose twice in order to be kicked out of the tournament. Since a player on the winner side of the bracket has never lost, in order for them to get knocked out of the bracket, they still have to lose twice, while the other player has already lost. It's just kind of a fairness thing. So Avi, who's already lost and crawled back through the losers bracket, only has to lose one more time. Jaewong, who hasn't lost yet and made their way through winner's bracket side, has to lose twice in order to lose. So what happens is you are on the winner side of the bracket, you're on the loser side of the bracket in grand finals. If the loser side player wins the first match, it resets everything, and now both players have one loss going into the final match of the day, and where one of the players has to lose twice in order to be kicked out. Whew. What a match. I can imagine the nerves getting to Jaewong here before, and first tournament getting all the way to grand finals, and Avi must have had some nerves going down 2 games and then having to crawl their way back. Is both pretty difficult situations for both players to be in. But as we talked about though, you know, Avi getting those 3 games back, as you said, crawling a victory out of the, or crawling, it was I'm always bad with idioms, victory out of the jaws of defeat. There you go. Has all the momentum going into this bracket reset, whereas Jaewong, it's, you know, it's like you had it in the bag. You had 2 wins, and now all of a sudden you're in a situation where you have to get 2 of those wins back again because you've reset everything. You no longer have to get 1 more win to win. You have to get 3. So Avi, who's been here already, done this twice in this singular bracket, and I'm guarantee you has done this before in other tournaments. It's just, you know, old hat for him. I can imagine both players likely taking a quick break, quick breather while they've done that. There's some really tough plays for both. Yeah. Well, I know Avi's definitely going to be wanting to play very aggressively. And while Jaewong doesn't play for up-tempo, certainly not a slow player either, and will play very decisively when they know they have the cards. And it's seemingly Jaewong knows exactly, or has been in the first 2 games, knowing exactly when to play aggressively and when to hold out. So I think both players being very cerebral, they're pretty in tune with what they want to do. Although Avi is just, I think, has an advantage in that tempo, and may play a little bit more aggressively, which can lead to his folly or can lead to his victory. That's kind of the name of a game like this when it's up to chances. Sometimes you can play very aggressively and it works on your favor, or sometimes you can play very aggressively and it ends up biting you. Yeah, and you know, sometimes being a veteran of a game like this can be useful. Whereas, you know, Avi's been in a situation like this before. Jaewong has only played in you know, Wednesday Night Cuttle, so he has a lot of experience to back up on. And Avi's won plenty of tournaments. I mean, of all people to win a tournament against, Jaewong has, in some ways, if you want to think about it in other sports, done something similar to what, you know, the Dallas Mavericks did when they won their first NBA championship, going through a ringer of very, very incredibly tough opponents. I mean, if I go back through Jaewong's run here, I mean, Jaewong played me in the first round, and I've won tournaments before, multiple tournaments. then had to beat Aleph, who's also won multiple tournaments. In fact, is our world champion from our world champion of last year. Then beat Avi, who is a perennial champion, all the time winning. So I mean, if I'm Jaewong, I have that to look back on and say, hey, I can do this. I've not only beaten Avi once already in this tournament, but I mean, look at the competition I've had to go through already, and kind of just decimated them in every situation. So maybe using that to their advantage to go ahead. Yeah, and if Jaewong is able to pull this out, if Jaewong is able to pull this out, you know, this is possibly one of the greatest tournament wins we've seen. Just through such incredible competition for your first tournament is really impressive. Will solidify Jaewong's name as one of the better players, just in the fact that they were able to do it through such stiff competition. Right. Had a lot of good games here. A lot of really plays. Oh, and did it? Oh, they just created the bracket, so we're just a couple seconds away from that starting. Man, this was intense. I've just been pacing, watching this game, just not really sure what's gonna happen next. Yeah. Oh yeah. It can truly be tough to be in a situation like this where you've never been in the grand finals, and nerves do get to you. And imagine doing that in your first tournament. It's just impressive. And it looks like both players are in the lobby and likely about to start. And we're off. Jaewong at the top of the screen with a queen, jack, 7, 6, 5, and a 3. Avi at the bottom of the screen with a 4, 8, 9, 10. Just now playing a second 8 as points on the board. You know, you're right. Avi does play pretty open hand points to just try to push an advantage early on to see what the opponent has to be able to stop it. Oh, what a great situation to be in. Having another queen and a 2 and a 6 to rely on there, but nothing to stop any points from going off. Decides to go for the jack and taking that 8 early. That's interesting. Right. I mean, you could just push points if you're Jaewong and just kind of, you know, force Avi to start scuttling early. But it's, you know, it's a situation where maybe you wait to see if Avi plays more points and take a card of higher value. But Jaewong decided she wanted it now. Possibly a good situation. You don't really know what your opponent has. Avi could have had a queen in his hands and then could have played the queen and stopped the ability for that jack to go off anyway. So, you know, in hindsight, it's really easy to say this as a commentator, but in their mind, maybe they had the right move. Possibly counter spear? Yeah. Yeah. Plays the 4. Puts Avi in check. And it's the high 4, so Avi can't use that 4 to scuttle with, which would be great if he could. Scuttles the 8, but of course can play the 7 and still technically wouldn't have check, would you? Yeah, if you do, but that's true. Ooh, Avi getting 2 10s now. Yeah, but Jaewon doesn't know that. Oh. Not a situation you want to be in. Yep. Reloads that queen. Avi may use that 3 to get the 2 back. It's really early. Not really in check right now, and the 4 isn't very intimidating. Yeah, Avi's certainly taking the time to think about that, but oh, Jaewon pulls a 10. Middleweight 10 at that, but Avi has the higher 10 of the 3 10s currently out on the field, or in hand. Jaewon plays the 7 with the 4, this time having the 10 to take the win. Out comes the 5. You might want to use that 3 to get a 2. Goes ahead and plays the 6 instead. But Avi doesn't know that Jaewon doesn't have a 2. So he may play a little bit more conservatively here. Yep, and scuttles with the lowest 10.
Now, Jaewon's got a good setup with the 6 and 9. Has to scuttle again.
Yeah, playing so strongly and aggressively that it's like, I think if you're Avi, you have to assume that she has that 2, but she doesn't. Draws instead, which leads Avi to believe that Jaewon needs more value, and she certainly does. So he goes with that queen to kind of balance things out, knowing that even if Jaewon has a 2, it's not going to really mean anything. Jaewon getting rid of the ace, instead keeping the 3 for its value, getting another 4 there. Or yeah. Jaewon certainly seems like the aggressor in the situation, but Avi has everything he needs in order to continue to kind of keep her at bay until he gets the cards he needs, and then we'll push immediately. Sounds like that's probably what we're gonna see soon here. Both players seem like they would love more value.
Yeah, there's not much
Jaewon
to
going
get them
for the
across the
aggressor
line.
again. Yeah. At this point, you would love to see a 6 come out for Jaewon, so that way you can reload that other queen and still have the 2 in hand to be able to counter any sort of ace, which Avi certainly has 2 of.
Yeah, with the 2 jacks in
And give you
hand,
the
there's not much you can do while Avi has a queen on the board.
Right, exactly. It gives you the opportunity to use those. Oh, and there goes the 10. Ace comes out. There's nothing Jaewon can do to stop that.
Not with the queens on, no.
Yeah, it was a situation you might wanted to pull a 6 out of the scrap before you pulled that. Especially with Avi needing to load up so much in order to get a win here.
Yeah, 3 of the 6s are already in the scrap, so slim chances of getting any more in the draw.
Yeah. And there's already a queen that was in the scrap already, so Jaewong having the fourth queen, that was the right move to do, is, you know, playing that 6, getting rid of both queens, and then playing her final queen. There was nothing you would be able to do to stop it with any sort of ace or 2 or jack.
Looks like Avi's building up again.
Yeah, both players seem to. This is the time, I think. Unfortunately, Jaewong has played that king, so it's not really the time you want to pull that 6, but you have those jacks, so the minute Avi starts playing points, you kind of want to just start pulling the 6 out so you can use those jacks effectively. Both players having king and queen on board.
Yeah, almost half of Jaewong's hand isn't usable with queens on the board.
Right, and Avi likely is going to start bluffing with those 4s, forcing Jaewong to use something. Oh, Jaewong lets the 2 rip, but she does have the queen that she can use the 6 pawn. Again, Avi bluffing there, not having the 10.
Both apt to draw limit again. Now we're going to see them think about where next.
Right. Avi's in a pretty good situation here, having the 2 and a 3, and of course having that ace as well, and having a jack that you can kind of start forcing Jaewong to start playing things if you want to start putting points down here.
Jaewong plays a 5. I imagine it won't be countered with, because there's just so many things now in the endgame that could rather be countered.
Yeah. Not the most effective, but you got rid of whatever is left in the hand there.
So now they can see each other's hands too, and we're left.
Right.
With
Avi currently has enough points to win and has a 3 if he wanted to grab more points, but there goes with that 4, which is going to definitely hurt Jaewong if he plays that other 4. It's going to reduce her hand significantly. She may decide to get rid of the ace here since she has the 2 jacks. Yep, an ace and an 8 go. Valuable points went away, but technically still has enough points to win here if she wanted to, and the jacks could allow her to take any points. Although I doubt Avi would start to play points at this point.
Yeah, seeing those 2 jacks, I think we're going to move towards a stalemate for this game.
Yeah, definitely. Both players having a 3, they can both pull out anything, but because they both have 3s, whatever the first player pulls out, the other player is likely going to pull something out to neutralize it. Unless Avi uses that 2, but I don't think it's going to matter regardless. 3 comes out, countered. Yep. So Avi can definitely use a 3 here, and have some sort of advantage with that, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Not really. The fact that Jaewong has that 10 of spades and that 9 of hearts means that he has some of the strongest cards in the game right now. So anything Avi pulls out of the scrap isn't going to do anything.
Yeah, it just has to go with reducing her hand. We might not actually see enough to pull towards a stalemate. I don't quite know. It's hard to tell. I think it's going to be a long path to get there.
It does kind of depend on what Jaewong discards here, but I don't know if just having those high point cards, you could scuttle pretty much anything that's on the board.
Gets rid of those point cards.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine because I mean, even if you're Avi and you pull out a queen, so she can't use the jack, you just don't have enough points.
We are left in a bad
Left
spot.
with a stalemate. Yeah, she pretty much could have given up anything there and still would have had the tie.
Because Avi needs to pull something in order to push towards the win.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a question of what that would be and what the best thing for that is.
Yeah, I mean, either with a 3 you pull out a royal like a queen to protect you from the jacks, or you pull out a king to reduce your point total, because you do have an 8 on the board and you would have a 9 in hand, but that 8 on the board would get jacked immediately, so with the 9...
And we went to a stalemate.
Yep.
Right, back up again. Jaewong starting off with 2 kings, a 3, 5, and 6.
5 goes out immediately. Getting rid of the 3. Getting 3 kings. Ooh, Avi having a jack, 10, 8, 2 7s, 2, and an ace. I mean, this would be the right time to start pulling those 3 kings, but it's a very, very risky play. And a 10 of spades. Wow, the only downside is Avi has that jack.
Yeah.
If you pull that 10 of spades too early,
Avi's got a...
hand. Oh, wow. 4 kings.
Ooh.
Avi playing from the deck here. What's he gonna grab?
It's got options for a 7 and a 3.
7 and a 3?
Yeah, 7 and a
so
3.
Probably do the 7 again.
Goes back to a 1-off. 3 and a queen. Probably gonna put the queen on the board. Yep. Oh, I'm surprised. Because we've
play one of these kings here. Oh, instead of surprised about what?
Just seems to like having a 3 to bounce 2s back, and he's already got a 2. So I'm a little surprised.
Situation there, did he already play a 2?
No,
so
but he's
got
to
play that 3 puts 1 off.
Oh, right. The 7 works. I see now. That's my bad.
Yeah, you could. When you play a 7, you can't go into your hands, so it'd be a tough situation to be in there.
Right.
Especially so early in the game. I don't know. Jaewong might be trying to bait out some sort of defense from Avi, like if this 2 comes out, and then use the kings in hand to really just push forth a victory here. A 4 would be very useful. Deciding to play the king finally.
Yeah, if that 4 goes off the right time, could really mess up Jaewong's move.
Yeah, having that 6 is would be pretty devastating if Jaewong continues this. But obviously having 4 kings, I mean, it'd be really fun to win a game using 4 kings, but it's more ideal to just have the kings in hand if you get rid of 2 of them. You don't really need 4. 2 is great, especially when having the king there. Getting the 9, that's an interesting pull. Forces probably the 6 here. Yep.
That scraps them both. Nothing to defend that. 2 kings go to the...
Jaewong may just keep pushing the kings, though.
Now in a much better position to also having a 10, but doesn't have much else defensively. Aces or 2s.
Yeah.
Still 30 cards in the deck. There's a lot of deck left to play.
Yes, okay, good. But that's going to be tough. You're going to have to use that 10 there. Not what you want to see.
Yeah, having that 9 and 10 on the board really makes it so that you gotta play defensively against it.
Oh, and that 4 is brutal.
Yeah, I think gonna play the king and then use the 5 just to get things on the board.
Yeah, it seems like wanting to play it safe here. Possibly a little bit too safe.
Yeah, another 4 went off, losing more cards.
Yeah. Now you might get rid of the 5. Yep. At least you have the 9 to scuttle with.
Got the 9 to scuttle with things go wrong.
But it would have been nice to be able to use that 5 or that ace if you needed to. But luckily, the ace. I mean, well, the ace wouldn't have been very effective against him. So.
And now they're
Having
kind of
2 in
even
hand.
tempo.
Playing just a little bit too aggressively here. Not having enough in hand to kind of to protect yourself. Because now you're put in a situation where even if you do scuttle, when you just counter, it's tough.
All right, 1 win.
Avi takes game 1, or takes here we go again. Avi takes game 2 and wins the first win of this setup here. Avi now having a 7, 8, 10 king and king in game 3, where Jaewong has a king, 10, 9, 6, 5, and 4. Avi's in a pretty good situation here. He can kind of push the objective pretty early, but it is risky. I mean, truth be told, so does Jaewong. I mean, Jaewong can play that king and play that 4, and force Avi to scuttle or use that 7 as a one-off to try to get anything to protect himself.
Yeah, after a beat, just starting off with a 5, building up your hand.
Ooh, pretty good to have. 2 6s and a jack. Tough time to find a 6, especially when 2 6s are already in play. But having a 2 on Avi's side of the board is really nice when you're going to have probably a king in your face soon. Jaewong might have to start playing aggressively here.
Yeah, Avi's got a pretty good setup.
Yeah.
Especially with a 6 already on the board and now the king coming out.
If she doesn't play the 6 now, she may be in trouble. No, she can't play the 6. She has to scuttle.
Because of the...
No, played it too early. Played right into his hand. Oh!
He just had a second king, but he's also got an 8 and a 10.
Oh, but that's not going to do it for him. Or for her, and that should be game 2. Playing a little bit too aggressively there. That's game 2 or that's 2 wins for Avi. Avi's at match point here. Another kind of not too strong hand for Jaewong, a very defensive hand. And Avi's got a decent amount of power here with a king and a 2 in hand, but 2 5s, which could easily get really useful value if he plays these early, which seems like he wants to. Brutal to have if you're Jaewong. I mean, 10 and a 9 and an 8 with that king is gonna be pretty tough to play against.
Yeah, and Jaewong doesn't have many points to scuttle against.
Yeah. This is kind of been the problem right now is, you know, you don't have the ability, but you have plenty of one-offs if you play them early enough, but kind of waiting too long on those one-offs when your opponent has a 2 to counter. Kind of been the story here. Possibly play a king here or draw, see if you can't get something. Yep.
So you think playing the one-offs earlier would have been better?
In some situations, yeah, because if you don't have, like, currently, let's say if Jaewong had 2 6s here and Avi played that king, Avi could counter with one of the with the 2 that Avi has in hand, but then the next turn Jaewong could have played that other 6 and could have gotten rid of the king. But if you wait too long, then you don't have that extra turn to be able to do that. In the event that, you know, Avi has 2 kings in that sort of situation. So sometimes it's hard to know when to be hyper aggressive or when not to. That's why a lot of players, whenever they see a queen out on the board, it doesn't really matter. They go to eliminate it immediately because queens are a card where it can be too late to do anything against them if you wait too long.
I see.
Get a double counter.
Yeah, a lot of cards just to keep a 4 off the board.
This might be game. Might be game if Ollie plays the 10 of spades right here, and he does.
Yeah, Jaewong might be able
Even
to
if
send the
Jaewong
king
plays
back.
9.
Sends the
Decides
10
not
back.
to. Doesn't matter because Avi can reload with the 9, and it's gonna cost her. That is game, and Avi is our club's 2026 winner. Wow, what a run for
What?
Avi.
Yeah,
That
what
was
a
both
comeback.
up.
What an absolute return for Avi. Needing to win 3 separate matches.
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely having the experience made all the difference there. Being a player that's been in that situation before, kind of having the nerve to make the right moves. There was plenty of situations where both players made mistakes when they could have won. But ultimately, it seems like Avi just made less mistakes at the end there to be able to get enough wins.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, he had just been playing continually this whole time up through the losers bracket.
Yeah, as we saw, I mean, they had to take a break after that bracket reset, probably just because the mental toll that it took to kind of be there. I'm curious if we'll get Avi in the live stream here to kind of talk about the win, but obviously good games to both competitors, good games to all our competitors. But,
Certainly.
what a great kind of performance for Jaewong, kind of being here for the first time and getting there.
Yeah, truly seeing so much through this first tournament run. Again, fighting against the seed up through really a star-studded group of competitors in order to get back and going into the grand finals.
Yeah, you really can't feel bad about that.
Yeah, making it here has been phenomenal for all people involved. It has been amazing matches to see. Just as a spectator and commentator, I've been many times blown away by how fast things happen and turn around so quickly in a game, and just having that focus to make those decisions and not just try and process and then make those decisions and react is we've just had an incredible showing here today.
Yeah, tempo can be a very interesting thing to play into, and obviously Avi is a very high tempo player and it worked out in his favor. And speaking of, here's Avi kind of coming in here to our lobby. Congratulations on winning Club 2026.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks.
What a great performance there. Obviously down 2 games to bbjme, playing those 3 wins to turn it around, going right into grand finals, going down again 2 games, getting 3 games back to reset the bracket, and then just kind of pushing forth to take the bracket reset pretty strongly at the end there.
Yeah, the Aleph must have turned on the good cards for me.
There's definitely some situations where both players had either very offensive hands or very defensive hands against each other, but it kind of just seems like both you and Jaewong do play up tempo. You, I think, play a little bit more up tempo than Jaewong does, but both of you guys are very cerebral. So it just kind of came down to who could play the tempo the fastest and keep up the cerebral kind of strategy. And it seemed like it was able to push you through. But also, I mean, you've been in this situation before. It was really awesome to see Jaewong get there as a grand final. But you have so much experience, I guess, to rely on there that I guess you were able to get over the hump easily.
I wouldn't say easily, but yes, it worked.
Yeah, what was that?
Well, you did take a break there, didn't you? So I guess it was a pretty hard fought battle over those couple of games.
Yeah, so that was my question. What was that like? Just that time between the bracket reset.
The time. Oh, we were trying to figure out if I would create the game or if Jay Wong would create the game. Because we didn't know the rules.
Just logistics, I see. Very nice.
bbjme went back and looked at the like world champion stream to see how it worked that time.
Oh,
by the way.
really?
Yeah, this was
Wow.
a logistical pause.
Huh. Well, I guess you get some amount of a breather. And if Baby Jamie is able to do the work for you, you can kind of just sit back until you find out what the knowledge is. But at the same time, I mean, it could also set you off pace when you're ready to jump back into the ring and you got to be told to wait a couple minutes.
Yeah, I think we were just all trying to figure out what to do.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
It worked.
One of the things I also discussed while we were streaming is, you know, the what can happen when you run through a bracket very quickly and get into grand finals, and then you got to wait for a lot of games to go through. And obviously, you and Baby Jamie's game went to 2 games apiece, and obviously you took the win there. But I think it seemed like Jay Wong was waiting for almost an hour to kind of wait on those matches to get to grand finals. You know, I wonder how much that has an effect on players. I know I've been in situations before where I've run through the winner's bracket and then you have to wait for so long that it kind of puts you in a situation where you're not necessarily ready to go again. Whereas you just got off of a game against Baby Jamie and you were right in game. So did you feel like when you went into grand finals you were just kind of ready to get back into the ring there?
Yeah, I think there's something to that. Like, I think if you're just waiting a while, it's definitely like it takes a bit of a mental toll, and it's harder to get back into the first game. But yeah, I didn't have that handicap Jay Wong did, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, there is definitely a positive where you can watch your opponents play as you spectate, but it's also like kind of intimidating, especially if your opponent goes down 2 games and comes back 3 wins and wins to be able to play you. It's like, oh man, like Avi just kind of turned it all around, and now I have to play him while he's kind of in this very upswing. As far as confidence, that can be a little bit intimidating. There's been situations against Aleph where that's happened to me, where I'm like, oh geez, like, I can't believe that. Now I got to go and play him after he just did that. So especially again with Jay Wong, with this being her first tournament, I can imagine that could be pretty difficult. But I mean, hats off to Jay Wong. That was really awesome to see her do that.
For her first tournament, she did so well.
I mean, taking a game from, or taking a match from me, taking a match from you and Aleph, what an impressive group of people to be able to go through, and kind of doing it in pretty I mean, just taking people down, really. Didn't seem like it was that hard, for those matches.
I mean, when she beat me, in the winners bracket, when she beat me, she did it, I think, 3-0.
Yeah, and
Totally
I didn't get a game on her either. I'm not sure about Aleph game, but I mean, your games when I saw my game too. But her games against you in winners final were very fast.
Yeah.
Just
It was one of the
1,
fastest
2, 3. Yeah. It's always fun to see a winner's final kind of rematch into grand finals. So, there's always something to talk about there.
Yeah, since it was a logistical question, I take it this doesn't happen very often, a bracket reset?
No, it does. I think we were just, like, all a little tired and don't remember how to do things.
Naturally.
In, like, 3 months.
Yeah. We had a bracket. Yeah, I mean, of course, we had a bracket reset in Worlds, which is our last tournament. So, it certainly happened recently, and it's happened a fair amount of times actually. There definitely is, I think, an element of waiting that long, and having one player kind of run through a gauntlet and kind of having the momentum going forward, where another player just kind of lost all that momentum having to wait so long. I'd be curious to see how many bracket resets are from a player waiting, and how many times it doesn't happen when it's like the player they played against plays like one more game, and then it goes quick and they go right back in the grand finals.
No. That would be an interesting question.
Yeah.
Hard to answer.
I wonder how many. I don't know if you'd be able to tell how many wins you've gotten at this point. But this is, I mean, certainly something you're accustomed to taking these tournaments.
I think this is probably my second tournament, not Worlds. I think maybe third.
Really?
I don't actually know.
Well, you didn't win Worlds, so I mean, it's been a couple of tournaments since you won your last one, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think it's been almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah. Coming in from first seed and then making it all the way through loser bracket again, you had a long path ahead of you for this tournament. Certainly.
Yeah, playing some tough competition at that. Who did you go through? I mean, you lost to Jay Wong. Did you have to play Aleph and bbjme, or did you just play bbjme?
I just played bbjme. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did you play in the first round?
Who did I play in the first round?
It was... I can pull the thing back up. It was... the first round was
HuntOrBeHunted?
Gugandalf, round 1.
Right, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, because you were the number 1 seed. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, when did we start? We started at what, 12:30? So I mean, no. You know, pretty quick tournament, all things considered. We were able to get through that pretty effectively.
Yeah, I think this was one of the faster ones.
Yeah, thankfully.
That's
Sometimes
incredible.
they can kind of drag on. Yeah.
Alrighty, well,
Yeah, well,
thank you for hosting.
great games from you.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for coming
What are
by.
you
Great
gonna
to hear from you.
do now that you've won?
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I can see
Alright.
that. I think usually when you win a tournament like this, you're pretty mentally exhausted, and it's a long couple hours to play and wait. So usually at this point, it's like everyone's kind of ready to move forward with their day.
Yeah.
I know. At this point, I am. I've got a dog sit, so I got to go check on a dog.
Yeah, absolutely go on that. Thank you so much for helping me with the commentary. You had a lot of great insights that I didn't quite have. It was really great to go back and forth with you.
Yeah, this was the first one I've been able to do, really. So it's fun to kind of get into the swing of things and kind of get comfortable with it. But so thanks for letting me get on and help you with that. It was really fun to kind of collaboratively commentate on it.
Yeah, great to be here. Go enjoy dog sitting. Everyone who's watching, have a wonderful time. Thanks for coming by and watching the tournament.
Yep, we'll have another one coming up in a couple of months here for I guess it will be Diamonds 2026. So
Exciting. Stay tuned. All right, see you around. Oh, and also I feel like it would be remiss not to mention both Wednesday night and Thursday lunch cuddle, a time to come and just play socially with everyone talking and chatting while we play games. It's a great time to gain experience in playing. A lot of people are on. And it's just a great place to be. Right, thanks to all for tuning in. I think I'm gonna check one more thing, and then I think I'm gonna let y'all go.
That was first round.
Mm-hmm.
First round? Yes.
I'd say to say that Javi